Hello.
Oh my goodness, how embarrassing. You guys couldn't hear
us. Hook
us.
up the microphone.
We totally forgot to hook up the microphone. Let me go grab the external.
That's perfect.
You think it's okay? Can
Guys
you guys
can hear us
now?
fine. Is it okay?
Looks promising. Yay. Yeah, Ronnie, sorry about that. See me but no sound. Oh, that's such a shame because our voices are so great. It works, yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe you'll get it, actually. There's a lot of background noise with, I think, the fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Okay, Derek's gonna talk to y'all.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to filibuster our live stream. So while Eliz goes and grabs the good microphone so that we can talk to you without any background noise, I will regale you all with a tale. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we're in Utah still, as you can tell by this beautiful painting behind me. We have had a great week. It's been, nice. We went for a big old hike the other day. Our first big hike of the trip, I'd say. It was 6 miles. 6. Let's just say my legs still kind of hurt. And it was many, many days ago. So, there's that. So, in the meantime, though, who all is on the live stream? We've got Catherine Hegarty. Catherine, hello. I know that you're not going to be able to stay on very long, but if you're still on, what's up? Glad that you're here. Shady Hill Homestead, how you doing, Shady Hill? Ronnie Dove, hello. Kim M, hello, hello, hello. Lori Sims, hi everyone. Out for a real dinner with parents and son. First time in over a year celebrating combined birthdays. Sorry to miss. Oh, Lori, have fun. We hope that you're having a great time with dinner. Hopefully it's al fresco dining, something nice and cool.
She's in California, so probably is.
Yeah, probably. Alan A, what is up, sir? How you doing? Hopefully things are not too wet out in Chicago. I know that everything's been melting with all the increased temperatures over there now. Mark Finley, hello, sir. Good to see you as well. Mohammed, Mo, how you doing, bud? Hopefully everything is going well in Belfast. It's, I know that you're still kind of under some lockdowns and whatnot, but we're glad to have you here, and I know it's kind of late over there, so thank you for joining us.
All right. Let's see.
You have to change the
I know. Sorry, everybody. Okay. I think this still works. Let us know if this is better or worse than before. But I think it's going to be okay.
Okay, there's definitely something going.
Greetings. Happy Thursday. Sorry about the microphone stuff. You guys are troopers. Thanks for hanging in there. We love you.
Tommy Dodson, what's up? Did you miss story time? Yes, you did, sir. I apologize.
You missed.
I panicked. Eliz was like, you talk to them. And I was like, Dr.
So Dr.
Seuss.
Seuss clearly was the thing to do.
I mean,
Oh, good.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them,
guys,
Sam, I am.
Thank you for giving us the feedback that it does sound better, too. This is why we use the external microphone. That was a miss. We had actually, as Derek was saying, we went for a 6-mile hike earlier this week, and we took the Joby with us that usually houses the external.
It's the stand, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tripod. And so I had to
just totally forgot.
I had to go find it in Derek's hiking backpack right now and throw everything together and whew, time for a drink.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Happy Thursday. Happy hour Thursday.
Happy
welcome
joy,
to Travel. I know Derek already said hi to a lot of people, so I'm just gonna run through. Hey, Lori, Ronnie, my dad, Mark Finley, Terry Finley, Tommy Dodson, Kim M, Mo, Shady Hill Homestead.
Mo said happy birthday to you.
Oh, thanks, Mo. So did Catherine before. She was on it. She got that in hours ago, which was super, super sweet of her. Yes, it is my birthday on Sunday. It's that time of year again that Derek and I will be the same age again, but until Sunday, I get to be younger, and I am very pleased about it. But yeah, my best friend's actually coming into town tomorrow because she lives in Salt Lake.
Fun.
So she's coming down here for the weekend, which I haven't seen her in person. I know so many of you guys can relate. Like Lori was talking about first time going out to a restaurant and everything. I haven't seen her in person since like the beginning of January of 2020. So it's been over a year, which is absolutely bananas. So I am like beyond excited. She's like taken yoga instructor classes during the pandemic too. So I'm like gonna try to get her to do some yoga with me. But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. Hello, Nick P. Hello, the cruise world. Welcome to you guys. And thank you.
What's
thank you so
up?
much. Yeah. And Derek is planning a few fun things. He's been doing a great job planning some birthday stuff for this weekend too.
Yes, today I bought cupcakes. Way too many cupcakes.
Way too many. Especially for somebody, Derek's on keto.
So her and her friend have 6 cupcakes apiece.
And then we're going to get into this. The topic at hand tonight is our first impressions of Utah and some of the learnings and takeaways that we've had.
And first impressions this time around. We've been to Utah a few times now.
Correct, yeah. But I mean, we haven't ever really been here like this duration, I guess. And we've only... I I don't know if that's 100% true, but we definitely haven't been to this area of Utah for this long. Prior to coming here to this Airbnb, we'd only been to this part of Utah for
a few days.
3 days, I think, and stayed with his aunt and uncle. So we're a lot more like ingrained into like the local stuff on this trip, I would say, than we were on the previous one.
I mean, we're still not doing a lot of like out and about stuff. We're going to the grocery store, we're going on hikes, things like that. We're not going really to many restaurants.
No.
We've gotten takeout once.
Yeah.
And otherwise we've been
I was trying
cooking.
to think of like, have we been to any restaurants? No.
But it's been good, and we like it. So
yeah.
That was number one. Takeaway number one. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Utah's great.
And thank you to Terry Finley. Yes. For anybody who's on right now, if you can smash that like button and subscribe and all that jazz, that is super helpful for our channel, just supporting our channel. It's just a free way to do that. We really appreciate all of those likes and subscriptions.
Mr. Dan, 242W, what's up?
Hi, Mr. Dan. I know I was chatting with you really quickly last night in the Walters World chat. So
Which was a
joining.
fun time for those who are members of Walters World. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Last night.
So what we do, thanks. So what we do on our live streams is kind of similar in terms of we're here to answer any travel Q&A.
Yep.
And we're also, we typically, I wouldn't say always, but typically have a list of, something that we want to share topic-wise.
Typically we have a topic that we run through and, might have a number of points or
and
places
it usually
we love.
has something to do with where we're at or what we're planning to do. So this week we are in southern Utah still, and we've been here now for just over a week. And so we're going to share what some of our takeaways and learnings have been, impressions, etc. But Derek's totally right. Like, it's awesome here.
Utah's great.
And it's colder than like it looks. So for any of you guys who follow me or him on social media, it kind of looks like we're in Hawaii sometimes, but we are not.
Lots of palm trees. But yeah, no. Okay, so real quick though, before we get into it, Mark Finley did say that they just booked their 3rd major trip of 2021. Hawaii in March, New York in August, and Boston in October.
Awesome. And
That's
I saw that Mark was, they booked Boston on miles. I saw him share about that, which is great. It sounds like you got a good redemption rate with credit card points and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to following along on that trip. We have been to Boston several times, and so we have a few different recommendations, and then I also have several cousins who live there too.
Boston's great. I love going to Boston, especially in the summertime when the weather's great.
We stayed at like this marvelous airport hotel for our final night in Boston the last time we were there.
Yeah,
Cannot recommend this place
surprisingly
enough.
nice. Like, really nice. Yeah,
We were there in the summer. We were there in June, so it was, we were able to take advantage of the water taxi really well.
Yeah, but it's like right by the airport and stuff, and you have a water taxi and everything, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thanks, Dad. I just got your text.
I got concerned. I'm like, oh no, we froze. Which now I'm concerned. Are we? Okay, no, we're not.
Anyway, so yes. Okay. What we have to share a few other things though.
About what,
before
Boston?
we get into our. Oh, well, we can share more things about Boston if
What do you want
the
to share?
people want them. But we wanted to share a few updates. So update number 1. I haven't posted our March live stream schedule yet. So for those of you guys who like our live streams and want to see another one, we are going to have at least 2 more on the next 2 Thursdays. So definitely...
The first 2 Thursdays in March we will
Yes.
be doing live streams. After that, we're going to reevaluate.
At this exact same time. After that, we are going to be departing Utah, and so we just need to figure out what that looks like for us before making schedules. So I usually typically post our live stream schedules, that last week of the month for the next month, and I'm so sorry. I know this one is going to be different. So bear with us. We will keep everybody posted on these live streams and on social media and YouTube and et cetera, et cetera. Speaking of YouTube, next update. So you guys have probably been wondering, like, why haven't we posted many videos lately? I have been working on so many behind the scenes, and I promise you there's going to be 3 that get posted next week alone. Please bear with us. I know that you guys subscribe to us for a reason, because you want to see more than just live streams too, probably. So they are absolutely coming, and I'm basically almost at that point where I can get 3 back to back almost in the coming week.
Yep.
So.
And Glen Camp, are we keeping Derek up? Yes. No, I'm a little tired today. I did not sleep well last night, so yeah, sorry.
You even took a nap this afternoon.
I even took a nap this afternoon. I was like, oh, I need to take a nap so I can be awake for everything. I'm trying, guys. We'll get there together. Okay, update number 3. I'm working on my tan every day. I'm hoping to get a little bit darker.
Yeah.
No, so actually update number 3 is that we got a new pet.
No, we didn't.
It's a basil plant called Bazzy. You want to go get Bazzy and show Bazzy to the kids?
I will go get it, but you have to explain the fact that I'm not pleased. So it's not that I hate basil. I actually love basil. I love basil plants. We had a garden. Go get it. Last summer. But we are at an Airbnb and will be at an Airbnb for the foreseeable future. And basically I was like, Derek, I thought was joking earlier this morning and was like, how fun would it be if we get a basil plant? I'm like, why would we get a basil plant? That means we can only go to places that are warm enough for the basil plant.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing.
I guess.
And look what I got when I went to the grocery store.
Okay, I'll go get it, fine.
So this was kind of an impulse buy, just a little bit, but I do love fresh basil, and I think fresh basil on things just really elevates the dining experience. And
so now our car, wherever we
ooh,
go,
it just smells so good.
is going to smell very strongly of basil.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It does. It smells really good. I don't know if you guys like basil. Like, raise your hand if you do, because we love fresh basil.
Put this on
for cooking.
pizzas, quesadilla, anything.
But now I'm gonna have like the life of a basil plant on my conscience.
It costs like $3, $3.50. It's really, really affordable, and I love the idea of having fresh stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else did we get this week? Why don't you share?
Yeah, so the actual big thing that we got, though, and if anybody was watching our stories on Instagram, you saw this. We just got our portable grill, our Coleman Road Tripper 285. Just got delivered this last week. Actually, the day of our big hike. And we put it together, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. We put it together 2 days ago and grilled on it and did steaks. We did bone-in ribeye and asparagus, and it was delicious.
It was fan-freaking-tastic.
So what happened is that, a number of the units in this place that we rented come with grills. But the next cheapest option to the place that we got that had a grill was like $600 more per month to rent, and we were like,
we could buy a grill.
We can buy a grill like for $300. Like, so we ended up getting that plus a cover, and it's portable, it's a road tripper, it's great for like, taking camping or taking to like if you're tailgating for a sports game. And I was like, this is just something we need anyways.
So it is heavy, not gonna lie. I mean, it's heavy, like, and it's bulky if you have a smaller car. Luckily, we have an SUV, and we do have the room in it. And we kind of we knew all along that we were going to make this purchase after seeing how much this grill cost before we left on this trip.
Yeah, so it's like $270 or something like that.
It was, $250, and then we bought grill tools, and which we totally should have thought to bring our grill tools. That was a mistake.
But now we have more.
Don't make that mistake. Bring your grill tools from home. But yeah, now we have more, and we have a grill cover too.
So it's great though. It's actually a really good size. So if anybody's looking for a grill, I think the Coleman, in the one day that we've actually used it, it's held up really good and cooked the steaks very evenly. I think it puts out like something like 20,000 BTUs.
Yeah. I think it's usually nice. Like associated with a camping grill, but it definitely
it's called the Road Tripper.
Looks good.
So really cool.
Yeah,
I like it. It comes in a lot of different colors. We got it in like the blue color because look at those eyes. Got to have a grill that matches those eyes.
Blue is my favorite color. It's not because of my eyes.
Yes. So so we did that, and now we will be able to take a grill with us wherever we go, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So that's the final update, I think.
The final?
Wait, no. We were also going to tell them that...
Guys, don't stab yourselves with forks. Don't do it. All right, the number one rule in the kitchen, which my dad taught me and I forgot. Drop something in the kitchen, don't try to grab it when you've dropped it. Because a lot of times that can lead to like bigger injuries if you're trying to like... So I accidentally was undoing the dishwasher, dropped a plate, threw my hand down trying to grab it, and just stabbed myself right there with a fork, so much so that I pulled my hand out and the fork came with it. I was like, ah! It was not good. But no, I'm good. I'm fine,
And this is why...
I'm just prone to self-injury occasionally.
This is why we bring first aid kits.
We've used more Neosporin on this trip than we probably have in the last, year.
Okay, so we brought a travel size Neosporin that you can buy at the store or whatever. I don't know if we told them why.
We're gonna need to buy a new one.
No, we don't. That's a lie. But I don't know if we told everybody why we needed to buy Neosporin before. So
you got bug bites.
Yeah, I got bit in Tucson by 3 times by a it's called a kissing bug. It's basically like a pretty venomous bug. It's not good. And so basically we had to go out and
She's doing a lot better though.
Buy more Neosporin, which has never happened to us.
Yeah.
Traveling or not traveling. So we had to get more, and so we have a plethora of Neosporin.
But no matter what, the whole takeaway of this is like things happen when you're traveling, right? You're not in your normal place. You might be more prone to some sort of injury. So having some sort of travel first aid kit is actually really, really helpful. So, we always travel with things like Band-Aids and Advil and Motrin and, Neosporin, things like that. Even when we go overseas, we do that. But on a road trip, we were able to put together a slightly more, fulsome first aid kit, in the, event of a car accident or something like that. We wanted to have everything.
Okay, we do not have a first aid kit for a car accident, but...
You know what I mean? Or like for hiking and stuff like.
Okay, yeah, for hiking. Yeah, for hiking, for like the
we have
the
like
everyday
bandages
stuff.
and gauze and things like that that can be used, in the case of an issue.
Which we have now used gauze and bandages multiple times, and we've only been gone for like 2.5 weeks.
So guys, be prepared. Roxanne Budd is in the house, and so is Troy S. Daniel
Troy.
Fields, you were here quite a bit earlier, so thanks for showing up.
Thank you. We can see in the chat your comment, but for some reason on our phones we can't see it. So I don't know if everybody else can, but we can see the one from earlier.
Yeah. Daniel was like one of the first ones here.
I know, he was like second guy in the chat.
So, one thing real quick. So Nick P did ask, he said, did you guys met up with the Walters, right? And we did. We met up with the Walters in Las Vegas, which was a lot of fun. We had a great time with them.
Yes.
After their giant Din Tai Fung dumpling eating contest with Turn Up World.
Yeah. And I know that I'll just re-explain because I know that we talked about it real quick last week as well. We happened to make reservations at Din Tai Fung for 7 p.m. on the same night that they were supposed to have their eating contest, and that was completely unplanned that we were going to the exact same restaurant.
Yeah, it was funny. I was texting Mark, and he's like, we'd love to meet up for a drink. He's like, the only thing we have is this dumpling eating contest from X to Y.
And we're like,
and I was like, that's weird. We're actually having dinner at our favorite dumpling place, and it's Din Tai Fung. And he goes, well, that's where we're having our contest. And I was like, well, we'll see you there, I guess.
See you there.
So they ended up joining us. We had some drinks and everything, and basically stayed until the place was like shut down. I felt like our waitress kept like coming by, like, are they done yet?
Yeah.
Are they gonna pay their bill? Like, what's going on?
It was so much fun to see them and meet them in person for the first time. And I know that Mark was talking about it a little bit last night, but like we completely echo the fact that it just felt like hanging out with old friends.
For a long time, yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Boston. Okay. Flying to Florida tomorrow. Glenn Camp. Flying to Florida tomorrow. Brief stop in Jacksonville. Then to St. Pete to see a friend. Finishing up in Destin, all by car. Oh, very cool. My brother actually is going to be going down to Destin soon, I think.
Yeah, at the beginning of March.
Yeah. And Glenn, yes, I know I already said this, but I'm feeling my second wind, so it's okay if I yawn occasionally. I apologize. Finley's Mike's Pastry in Boston is a must. Get a cannoli. Very cool. We
went to, there's like, oh gosh, let me look this up real quick. We went to a lobster roll place.
It's right by the famous, there's two that are like next door to each other. One's like the very expensive one that I feel like a lot of people know about. And then there's one right next door that was like called Polly's. Was it Polly's or Pete's?
Was it Polly's? Okay,
I think it was Polly's.
Yeah, because this is in San Diego. You're right.
I think it's called Polly's in Boston, and it was phenomenal. And the way that I knew that it was going to be amazing was that there's like two like beat cops like standing in line to get lobster rolls, and I was like, that's how you know it's good. Like the locals are going.
Anytime you see just like a
it's right by Neptune Oyster.
Yeah.
So Neptune Oyster is like the famous one, I feel.
Polly's, you're right. It's spelled P-A-U-L-I.
Right next door, Polly's. Super good. When we got to Neptune's, I think that they were like they were first come first serve, but like the wait was crazy long, so we decided to like we were hungry and we just went next door and like
the wait was going to be 2 hours, and we were like, we're hungry now.
Yeah.
So
I went to Polly's. It was delicious. Highly recommend it. Right by Neptune's Oyster.
I'm sure Neptune Oyster is good too, but we can't speak from experience.
Yes. Okay, so Alan A says make some pesto sauce. I don't think we're quite to pesto sauce levels on
I don't know. I think we could make a little pesto.
We could make like a quarter batch or something like that.
We do have that really special blender. So all we need...
The Asterizer.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys saw this week or voted in the poll, but the poll was...
Will it blend?
And
I'm pretty sure the answer is
pesto.
heck yeah.
We should make pesto as the first Will It Blend trial.
I don't know. I'm feeling a milkshake.
Yeah, Derek and I bought some
protein powder
to
smoothies
to help with this. So there's going to be an update on whether or not the antique blender
I bet it blends.
Yeah. There's going to be an update.
See, Glenn says that they just minced up a few leaves of basil over a pizza for lunch. It's beautiful.
It honestly,
It's the
like,
thing to do.
I fully admit fresh basil makes, like, pizzas and pastas and all those things taste just so much better.
So much better.
I am not arguing that. I just don't feel like we're, like, proper plant parents at the moment. And this was Derek's impulse buy, that it's a living being.
Speak for yourself. I'm a great basil parent.
Tommy
Dodson says
gonna smell like
it's going to
basil.
smell so good. I'm excited. Tommy Dodson says, will you get a basil babysitter when you go out? I'm going to just tuck that little baby in and sing it a lullaby, and then we'll go out drinking on the town. No, I'm just kidding.
Out?
We don't go out. You don't go out. With the exception of, like, hikes, we don't do much.
I mean, we're not out for, like, extended periods,
Yeah.
That basil plant is part of the family now. Maybe we'll bring it with us to an outdoor dining establishment one time.
Okay, so what do we got? So Roxanne says, hey guys, I get to join a live. Yay, good to see you both.
Yay!
Nice
I know,
to see you
she's
too.
been commenting on all of our lives lately, being like, oh, I missed it. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for joining, Roxanne.
Yep. And Nick P agrees. He says, first aid kits are a must. I bought one at Walgreens and stuffed it under my seat. Never used it, but it was good to have it. Yes, I mean, I think you should just have that generally in your car if you're driving around for, much at all. Because you never know when you're going to need it, and it's always better to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it. So,
totally, and especially like those antibacterial wipes and stuff. I mean, it can be a huge savior to have just basics.
Okay, so Ellen A asks, what shoes are you hiking in? The Merrells from the UK?
Ooh, good question.
We brought those.
We brought both our
Merrells
Merrells from the UK for, like, smaller hikes, and then we brought
our actual Keen hiking boots.
We've had these Keen hiking boots since we went to Wales, right? Is that when we bought them?
Seattle, I think.
Oh, Seattle. Okay. So we went to, like, REI one time and bought very similar hiking boots. I guess that's kind of a theme. We both invest in hiking boots on the same day.
Yeah. Well, because we're usually hiking together.
Yeah, we hike together. That makes sense.
Yeah, so we got these hiking boots many years ago. We've used them a handful of times, and we brought them with us.
They have the ankle support.
Yeah,
the hike that we did this week, it was 6 miles long, a little bit over, and it took hours.
And there's quite a bit of, like, elevation change, so there's, like, a lot
rockiness.
there's a lot of opportunities for, like, twisted ankles or stuff like that. Actually, my aunt and uncle were telling us that a friend of theirs a few years back on the same hike actually broke their ankle.
Thank goodness, like, we went with his aunt and uncle for the first time, because they have done this hike many times before, so they would warn us, like, at different points.
Yeah, they're like, okay, over here, watch out.
They'd say, like,
this.
oh, our friend broke her ankle there, so, like, don't
don't do that. Yeah.
Or there'd be kind of, like, breaks in the path, and they'd be like, okay, we're gonna take the easier way. I'm like, yay.
Yeah, no, that was great, and, having these types of boots, with the, like, real ankle support is great, but, what's even more important was having the trekking poles, which I had never used trekking poles in hikes before I started hiking with my aunt and uncle back in, like, Seattle.
Because they used to live in Seattle. And
they used to live in Seattle. Now they're
in this area. St. George area.
But
a year, 2 years ago.
A few years ago. So it's one of those things where, like, having those and being able to, like, support yourself on, like, with the trek, super helpful. And I would highly recommend, if you're doing any, like, real hiking, get yourself a pair of those. I saw a pair at Walmart for, like, $20. And they are a life changer in terms of, hikes, because, just especially when you're going downhill, they're super helpful to be able to, like, give yourself added stability and, catch yourself as you're going down.
I like them going uphill too. I'm not gonna, like, it's just don't think that you, like,
trekking poles
benefit from them. Yeah, I mean, they are easy to pack for the most part if you have, like, a checked bag. And they can be a game changer for a hiking trip.
Yeah, they're collapsible and stuff, so that's great. Nick P, such a small world.
That's with the Walters in Vegas.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really funny. And yes, we agree. They are awesome people.
Ryan Donahue is in Boston, so he's a great resource for it. He says Mike's is probably the most popular, but not the best.
Nice.
Sorry,
It's probably like me with Chicago-style pizza. I'm like, Pequods.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
And people are like, but what about Gino's? What about Giordano's? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, maybe those are more well-known, but Pequods, that's where the locals go, and that's delicious. So if you're looking for Chicago-style pizza, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, and Nick says that Mike's was his favorite when he was in Boston.
Yeah, why'd you go way, okay.
I didn't.
Oh, okay, never mind, sorry.
I'm right here.
Yep.
Iggy's on. Hello, Iggy. From Tony Don Jimeno. Happy birthday, Eliz. Thank you. My sister's birthday is today as well. So my birthday is actually Sunday.
But
we're celebrating today with you all. Especially because here in Utah.
Should she eat a cupcake?
If you guys want me to eat a cupcake on this live stream, I will. But if not, that's totally fine too.
They just need to get eaten, guys.
Yeah, you did buy a lot of cupcakes.
And the funniest thing was, there was an option to buy less cupcakes. But then I was like, but there's more options.
You're funny.
That's what I do. This is why she doesn't let me go to the store by myself.
No, yeah, this is a perfect example. Derek comes home with there's gonna be three adults.
It's really
and
pretty
Derek
sunset.
oh yeah, that is a really pretty sunset.
Oh man.
Derek comes home with 12 cupcakes or something like that, and a
basil
plant.
Yeah. Because me going and doing shopping without her is like, you know, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Oh, that's really mean.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a blast. You're just lucky I didn't come home with boxes of mac and cheese. I was close. I was like, ooh, but for her birthday we do mac and cheese and I know.
Derek's going off of his keto diet on my birthday, and he is.
So we can get sushi and stuff.
Yeah, and well, technically that's going to be Saturday night that we do that because.
And I'll eat a cupcake that day. So.
Because here in Utah, and we're going to get into this, because our topic at hand
is Utah
takeaways, and this is kind of one of them. But one of the things is Sundays are a little iffy, and we'll get into that more. But the sushi place even is closed.
Gallivanting gals are on. What's up?
The gals, welcome back. It's so fun to see you guys in the chat again. Thank you for popping in, and thank you for the birthday wishes.
Okay, so I mean, are we getting into Utah? Are we going to start talking about Utah?
Yeah, I think we should probably start talking about Utah.
Okay, Utah's great. Number one,
that was
as we said, Utah's great.
Utah.
Number two is that on Sundays, you might want to be a little bit, mindful because things tend to close down on Sundays. Our assumption is that has to do with more along the lines of, religious observance and things like that, but restaurants, bars, etc., are more likely to be closed on Sundays.
And museums, just generally any establishments that you might want to visit. If you're going to be here on a Sunday, double check the hours and maybe even call. Yeah,
to make sure that they're actually going to be open. Also, because of that, Sundays might be, Sunday mornings when people are typically in church might be a really good time to go out and do hikes if you're trying to avoid crowds. That's probably a good time to go do hikes. But yeah, so Sundays, be careful. Don't plan on an impromptu dinner somewhere super nice. If it might be shut down. So.
Yeah. So the gals, sorry, I know that I'm interrupting, but it sounds like they're trying to make their way out of. I'm not sure which theme park they're at right now in Orlando, but let's just say Disney. It sounds like they're trying to make their way out of Disney right now, which. I mean, Godspeed. We know you've got this.
If you're in Disney, a good buddy of mine, his job through the Disney College program way back when was he was the guy as people were leaving the park, asking, how would you rate your experience? And I'm like, parents hated you, right? They're by that time, their kids are screaming, they've been waiting in line, sweating their butts off, and they're just like, get out of my face.
I have a former coworker who married the guy who plays Gaston.
Gaston.
in Disney. I think he actually no longer does it anymore, but he did it for years.
Nobody drinks like that song.
Because I don't know, you don't want to do like any Disney song singing, I don't think, on YouTube. We don't want to get in trouble for that. Hello to Griswold Family Vacay. Danny, welcome.
These are the cupcakes.
So Derek got a lot of cupcakes on behalf of my celebrating my next or last trip around the sun.
Last?
Not last, sorry.
Like
No, I don't mean last. I meant like
latest.
Latest. Thank you. So anywho, thanks you guys so much for celebrating with us. Well, yeah, we'll definitely catch up with the gals soon. Glen Camp. Sorry, I'm just trying to follow along what. I don't know if you're saying particularly in St. George and Moab, not so much in Salt Lake City or Ogden. That's probably in regards to. Thank you. Oh, you're too kind. Probably in regards to the Sunday thing. I agree. In Salt Lake City or Park City, you're probably not. I can't speak to Ogden. We haven't really spent any time there, but Salt Lake City for sure. It's not going to be as everything shuts down as probably smaller areas of Utah. But just wanted to give everybody a heads up, just Utah.
Okay, but now we are here in the winter, not quite springtime, right? And it is still super sunny, and it's really nice in the sun.
Yeah. So that's.
I'm getting that like golden hue, you know.
That's one of our next takeaways. Is it has actually been sunny the entire time we've been here.
It's been great.
And we did hear that there was precipitation the week before that we got here, which apparently is very notable. And
it's been a super, they were saying it's been a very, very dry winter.
Yeah.
But typically I think spring is when they get a little bit more rain.
But generally speaking, here in southern Utah, you are going to likely get many days of sunshine.
Yep.
So
it's great. No complaints.
We're trying to give a ton of like kudos to that because we are very, very pleased about it. I've been going for walks and stuff like that, but that was one of our first impressions. We're like, oh my gosh, it is like constantly sunny here. This is fantastic.
Well, and there's a major difference between like what it feels like in the sun versus like in the shade or if the clouds come out, because I mean the temperature difference is quite drastic, at least for how it feels, because it might be.
Oh, sorry, 50... you guys, if we're buffering. It seems like several of you guys are experiencing buffering right now. I hope it's back.
Bye, Glenn.
Bye, Glenn. Thanks for joining. It's always fun to have you on. And Danny's saying that it's looking a little bit better now, so fingers crossed. We're looking better now.
I will try not to make any quick movements. But yeah, no, so hopefully it doesn't freeze on that face that I just made. So we so next is, we're just talking about, the sun. So along with the sun comes,
it does seem like
shade.
A lot of people just dropped off. I just want to I don't want to go next until we find out if we're on. So please give us feedback if you guys can hear us and
Where's
see us.
Where's the thing that says on what the connection looks like?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
Okay, it's better now. Excellent connection back. Hopefully you guys can hear us and see us, and we're gonna come back. Please come back. We miss you.
Thomas Reiser and Alan A. both say that we're back. Katie Smith says we're back. We must be back.
Thank you so much for telling us. We were very, very worried about this. So
Mr. Dan, thank you.
My dad actually warned me about an hour ago or so that YouTube was having issues today. And there was like even a point today when YouTube was kind of down. Which I didn't, I must not have been on YouTube.
Yeah, so real quick, if you can hear us but not really see us, maybe exit out and come back in. that might fix it. So Roxanne, if you're having issues with that, go for that, and
Refresh.
we'll see. Iggy says we're back. Troy says we're back. So that's good. Okay, awesome. So,
okay.
Should we continue with Utah, or is that the jinxing thing where Utah's like, don't talk bad about us?
That's funny if it is.
Censored. It's all good stuff. We already said, number one, Utah's great.
Was it something we said? Pretty much. Tommy, that's funny.
That is funny. So on Utah, there's a lot of sun. And when the sun goes away, it gets quite cold, just like pretty much anywhere that's like desert-y, which is kind of like what it is here. It's pretty arid and dry. So when you're in the shade, it becomes quite a bit cooler. So it's still safe if you're in a place like Utah, especially here in southern Utah. Definitely pack layers, because then you can, be ready no matter where you are. And at night here, it still gets quite cold, and only really gets up to temperature probably around like 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah. So just want to let you guys know, we actually have like 15 more things on this list.
It's very dry too.
Yeah. So that's the next one.
Moisturizing like crazy.
Right. So, okay. If you come to Utah, regardless of time of year, likely you're going to experience dry air, especially in the southern part that's very deserty. Even in Moab, it's very dry. What we ended up doing is, because we brought just like a travel size lotion with us, we just bought a thing of lotion at Target when we went to it, because we've just been going through lotion like crazy. It's like way more than we did in the Midwest, and in the Midwest, winter is pretty dry too. I proactively brought with me, I got like a sample from one of my makeup things of like the Clinique Moisture Surge face lotion, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna bring this with us on our trip because we're going to the desert. Maybe we'll need this. And it's not something, I don't typically like use something that strong. Ooh-wee. Both me and Derek have been like dipping into that thing. It's very, very dry here, and your hands, like, if you are using hand sanitizer too, regularly, like it's a pandemic, what a lot of us are, it dries out your hands so fast. You just like constantly have to be, putting on the lotion and stuff. And that's just totally different than what we're at least used to.
Iggy says the moment you said it was dry, it came out spooky.
Spooky?
Interesting. We had to watch that play. Oh no, we just jumped down to 4 people.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know
is
what
it back
happened.
to being silly? It does say green. I don't know.
This feels like a doomed Thursday.
I hope not. That would be so sad. Guys, I hope you're still on. We miss you.
It's still on my phone.
Okay.
Nick P says it's acting fine now. So, and Roxanne says that's how it is here in Washington, having to use lotion all the time. Yeah, so, I mean, my thing is I've been battling it like crazy because I tend to get pretty dry hands. Definitely having like hand balms, lotions,
Like,
drinking
definitely bring
tons
those
of
with
water, like tons and tons and tons of water, especially because I have been outside a lot more trying to get more sun. So, it's definitely a thing where, definitely use moisturizer, use SPF, do all that kind of stuff. When you're in Utah, kind of no matter what time of year, even in the wintertime, so.
Daniel Fields, what shoes did you get? Let us know. 12 still in the chat, my dad says. Yeah, not really sure what just happened. Maybe, some people kind of yeah.
Okay, so what else? So
okay,
we've
so
already
like,
talked about the big
should we just
temperature
jump
difference.
into the? Well, it's a big. We talked about
said
between
that.
sunshine. Okay. Let's just jump into.
Let's talk about the big
talk
thing,
about
alcohol.
Drinks, because all of you guys kind of asked. Oh wait, no, actually, this might have been on Darion's live stream that we were asked this question, but there is definitely a difference in alcohol availability and consumption in Utah than any other state that we've been to. So we have several points that we want to go through on this, so that way we fully kind of like explain to you guys what we've learned, what we've noticed, all that jazz. Yeah. Nick, yes, you are totally correct. So I don't know if I'm not going to necessarily say this is because of the Mormons. Could be, but we're not well researched enough to say that that's 100%. But it's definitely a Utah thing. So
yeah, I mean, but a lot of places have had these rules and different things around like dry counties, dry states,
there
et
could
cetera.
be weird rules, like even in New York City, only one, like if there's a grocery store chain in New York City, for example, like there's only one Whole Foods that can sell wine and liquor, and and I think it's in each borough.
I have no idea.
Or like one Target can. And
one Trader Joe's wine shop, right? So all
and those are
different
prohibition
places
laws.
Yeah, well, that's not prohibition.
Yeah, I think it's left over from from post-prohibition.
Prohibition, they had none, so that's not what it is.
Right.
But regardless, there's a lot of different like states that have laws like this. But in Utah's, it's a little bit more interesting. So the rule here is 4%. So anything below 4% can be sold. 4% alcohol can be sold like in grocery stores. So you can go to Harmon's, which is like the local Whole Foods equivalent, and you can buy Michelob Ultra. But you can't buy a bottle of wine because wine is more alcoholic than that. You can't buy liquor. You can't buy higher alcohol beers. To do that, you have to go to one of the state-ran liquor stores, which is called the DABC.
Yes, that is the next point. There are state-run liquor stores.
Yes, so state-run liquor stores, like here in St. George, there's 2 of them, I think. We've been to one of them so far. They, at least at this moment in time, are not open on Sundays, because I tried to go on a Sunday and they were definitely not open. But they do have wine. They actually have a decent selection, I thought. It's a little bit more limited than if you're used to like big liquor stores like in Chicago or something like that, like a Benny's Beverage Depot. It's not that.
It is, okay, it's not even close to that.
Not even close to that.
It's large.
Kind of small.
And it actually has like one-person aisles, which
it felt very
during
claustrophobic.
The pandemic is not ideal.
Yeah, but very claustrophobic. And they sell things like beer by the can and stuff like that. It's not really by the 6-pack. Things are definitely more expensive than they would be probably typically. The only place
Sorry, you're jumping. I want to say one last thing about the state-run liquor stores.
Yeah, they're expensive there. That's what I was saying.
That's not what I was about to say. They are also closed on Sundays. So I don't know if it's like because it's a government business or because it's Utah, but like I was saying last night on the Walters World chat, we kind of have to like plan my birthday in advance because my birthday is on a Sunday.
I mean that used to be the law in Indiana up until probably like 5 years ago or something like that. There's no liquor sales on Sunday, so people had to plan in advance and you had to buy alcohol in advance.
And traveling with Nick P, yes. Benny's is like Total Wine, which is a more nationwide type chain. It's, I think, very localized to the Midwest, but it's like a big alcohol warehouse sort of thing.
Yeah. So the only place, though, outside of the DABC, which is the state-ran liquor stores here in Utah, where you can buy those higher percentage brews or whatever.
Bye, Katie Smith, by the way. Sorry that
Bye, Katie.
we didn't see you saying bye until just now.
So the only thing, the only other places, if they are a brewery, distillery, winery that's in state, obviously they can sell their products to go, like bottles of wine or whatever. But that's the only other place other than these state-ran liquor stores where you can buy that stuff.
Yeah.
I will say though that like the beer selection, if you're a beer drinker and you're not, going after those high ABV beers, there's a decent selection though. As you're like walking around the grocery stores and whatnot. Like Harmon's here in St. George that I just went to today had a pretty robust selection of different types of beers.
You were able to get like Derek buys Michelob Ultra and White Claw when he's on keto, and like those were there. I think they had a lot of Coors You know those nationwide beers.
Yeah, but they also had like a number
All
of like
there.
microbrews that you know are more in like the lower ABVs and stuff like that. So,
But
yeah,
what they
it's
don't
decent.
have, and I'm super upset
It's
about
probably
it.
because the ABV.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah.
They only have every single grocery store or Target or Walmart or whatever that we've been to that does sell alcohol here. They only have reds as like a cider option, and I don't totally consider reds to even really be a cider because it's kind of more like a apple flavored beer. It's not really a cider, but it must just be because it's lower than 4% alcohol by volume that it's able to be sold there. And so like the only place that I was even able to buy cider, much less wine, in St. George so far, that the St. George area, has been at the state-run liquor store. So, and I had to buy it instead of like by the pack, I had to buy it individually by the can or by the bottle. And one of my favorite Salt Lake City-based cider breweries is called Mountain West, and the Mountain West cans individually were like $5.50, which is crazy.
$5.05.
Oh, was it $5?
Yeah, it was like a weird number.
Still, over
it was a super weird, like $5.05
per can for something that came from Salt Lake City. So.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. So, you know, on top of all that stuff, you know, there's just generally less variety at these state-run liquor stores, and not as much because just they're pretty small footprints. You know, it's not like this giant store.
Jonathan Short from the Six Traveling Shorts. Hello, welcome
What's
to
up?
you.
What's
Thanks
up,
for
Jonathan?
joining.
That said, though they have less variety, according to the internet, we've never done this, the state-run liquor stores are supposedly, they will order you alcohol. So if you have like a specific place you want to get something from, they will place orders for you to then be delivered to them that you can then get it from them. So that's an option if you actually live in Utah.
So Tommy's asking, more important, is it soda, pop, or Coke in Utah?
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have a final answer on that because
We don't know very many like Utahns.
I don't actually drink
Utahns?
anything carbonated except for cider is kind of lightly carbonated, and I'll maybe have like a glass of champagne or a White Claw here and there if there's no other options. So it's just and that's just me. It's always upset my stomach. I've never really been able to do it.
Also, like, you know, in our trip, we haven't been hanging out with a lot of people who are like
true.
local, like from Utah.
You know what? I'm going to ask my best
seeing a lot
friend
of
this
people.
question,
Yeah.
and I can at least give you the Salt Lake City answer.
Yeah.
Next week.
I'm gonna guess soda.
I'm gonna guess soda too, because I
like
feel like
pop is more
pop
like
is
a
Midwest,
Chicago, Midwest.
and Coke is
Probably
more like the
Atlanta.
South. Yeah. I'm gonna go with soda.
Although I do like soda pop,
Soda pop is cute.
which
I
Nick
like that
Nick
one.
P says is the worst.
It's the worst. I don't know. I think it's endearing.
Oh no, he says it as one word. I thought he said it's the worst.
Oh, that's a
never
totally
mind. Soda
different
pop.
sentiment.
Soda pop. So
That just reminded me of the NSYNC song "Dirty Pop."
I have no idea. Boy bands, I don't know. But yeah, no, because of all that, like, you know, technically, like, you're not supposed to actually, I think, go to, like, outside of the state to transport alcohol into the state. So, like, even though we're really close to, like, Arizona and Nevada, technically, I don't think we're supposed to go there to buy alcohol and bring it into the state. That's technically, I think, illegal. And they have...
It sounds like a lot of people do it.
It sounds like a lot of people do it anyways. They go to Mesquite, Nevada, and they do it anyways.
Hi Blaine, welcome.
What up, Blaine?
We're chatting about Utah, which I know Blaine's been to Utah, so maybe he can add a few takeaways as well.
Which again, Utah. It's just fun to say.
Utah.
Yeah, no, so, but because of that, because you're not allowed to bring alcohol into the state and stuff, and I think they have a number of different things around, you know, controlling and taxing things when they come into the state, there are a lot of these, you know, port of entry places for like the commercial trucks to actually stop off at, which is interesting because I felt like on our trip here, every single like thing like that we saw in other states was actually closed, but here they were actually open. And not exactly sure what that is. That's just kind of like a fun fact. Like they were definitely open when we were coming into Utah, even though every other state that we drove through, I felt like they were closed. So, I don't know. If anybody knows any long haul truckers, maybe you know the answer to like what that's all about.
The fact that there was even a port of entry is like crazy to me across state lines.
Yeah. Cool. So I think that's all of the alcohol related
All the alcohol related ones. I think you can transfer soda pop across state lines, no question.
Yeah.
I think so I actually say soda even though I'm from Chicago. Mostly because my cousins made fun of me and I switched.
Yeah. Well,
but
I used to call it just Coke.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought everything was Coke.
Really?
Even though I didn't drink Coke, we drank Pepsi, but we called it Cokes.
Your dad drinks Coke, or he drinks Diet Coke.
But we used to drink Pepsi when I was younger.
Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
weird.
6'2", they said Utah, dad joke, I know. So Nick P, by the way, way back when I saw him say that he wears a size 17 shoe, and that's
nuts.
That is a custom shoe size if I ever heard one. That's crazy.
So just getting back onto products in stores though, because I found this pretty interesting, and Liz pointed this out, and I totally agree, is that in stores here, we've definitely noticed that they sell a lot more keto-centric things, so very low carb alternatives.
And we have a theory to this, but we won't share it. Well, maybe.
Yeah, we will now that you said it. So
I had a hypothesis behind why there's a lot more keto options here than even in like the Cincinnati area where we just came from.
Well, I think there's two things.
Okay.
The first thing is I think that places like St. George tend to be a little bit more health centric. They host a marathon. They do like a bunch of like outdoors activities and things like that. So maybe they are at more of a bleeding edge of health trends and stuff like that. The other thing being that there is a relatively high prevalence of diabetes within the Mormon community, according to the internet. So maybe that's another reason why like people are maybe looking at the keto diet, which is low carb. So we've seen a ton of stuff. Actually, I just bought today keto like hamburger buns for our grilling out on the burgers.
Excited for these keto hamburger buns.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited to actually be able to have a burger on a bun. It's gonna be nuts. So yeah, no, that's been fun. That's been cool.
Because you guys maybe saw like Derek's been. We showed you like the burger pockets when we were in the UK that Derek's kind of been eating when he's on keto and stuff, with like the low carb tortillas and putting all the burger fixins inside of the tortilla and creating like a burger pocket. A lot of you guys thought that looked really good, and it is pretty good. It's great, and it's a great low carb option.
I fold it kind of like a Crunchwrap Supreme at Taco Bell.
Yeah, but for him, like having a bun is just like super exciting. Hello, Julia. Welcome.
What's up? Okay, so getting back to weekends and I don't know what this is.
Okay. This one kind of like circles back to the fact that on Sundays things are closed and blah blah blah. So like we've heard from Derek's aunt and uncle. We actually didn't go on a hike on the weekend, so we can't say this from personal experience, but from their experience, they communicated to us that on weekends in general, the trails get so much more busy. So whether that's like Zion National Park, which is super close to here, or just any of the state park trails or the local trails, there's just lots of families out and about. This is a very outdoor community. In order to avoid that as much, you might want to consider doing hikes on Sunday mornings when a lot of the locals go to church. Yeah. So we've heard that a lot of the trails aren't as busy on Sundays until the afternoons.
Yeah, Sunday mornings, yeah.
All that being said,
Unlike the song, Busy Thy Sunday Home.
Derek's aunt and uncle also communicated that the trails were still busy on Sunday mornings when all of the churches had to close down.
We're shut down during COVID, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not sure if this was, like basically there's a period of time, I think, last year in 2020 that a lot of the churches shut down and a lot of the families went for hikes on Sundays, so yeah.
Not too much left.
I know, you're like sailing through these and I'm kind of worried that we're like going to be done soon.
We can get back to other stuff.
Oh, okay. Should we get back to other stuff now?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
No, I'm good. You
Oh,
do it.
okay. I think
You're
we're just talking about
you're
how
on
tall
the
Nick
mouse.
P is right now.
Nick P is quite tall, and I am very short.
Yeah.
So that would be fun to meet him. So.
You're not very short. But
Compared to
Nick
P.
P. I mean, isn't everyone?
Nick P's like
Yeah.
a foot and a half taller than me.
No, Nick
Not
P's
a
a foot and a half taller than me.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Nick P is
6'9".
6'9". More than a foot and a half taller than me. Because I'm 5'1".
He's a foot and a quarter taller than me.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right.
Wait, who's that you just said?
Speaking of
Blossom. That was
Speaking of families in Utah, and seeing families on the trail and all that, generally we've noticed that there's just like, you see like just way more kids around in St. George at least. I actually wouldn't say...
Maybe we're just like in a family-oriented community, but we see a lot of kids.
I would not say the same about Salt Lake City. But I would say the same about like Provo and
not at the
St.
bars
George
we go
and
to in
stuff like
Salt Lake City.
Anyway, so like you just see a lot of kids around when you go to the grocery store. Like a lot of families shop together, so there might be like, you know, one or two parents and, you know, a lot of the kids and stuff there. And so it's just, especially compared to like where we're from in Chicago, you just see kids so much more, and that's to us not a bad thing. Like it's great to see families enjoying, you know, the outdoors, enjoying shopping together and stuff like that. But it is like the ratio of adult to kid here is
it's just different, yeah.
It's different.
It's fun though, and you know, we actually love it because, you know, we actually our unit here like looks out on like the pool and the pickleball courts and like all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. You usually can hear like the kids playing and laughing and all that kind of stuff, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I was like looking out today. I'm like, oh, there's like 3 little girls just playing like tag, like running around. I was like, do you remember when we had that kind of energy?
There's like this
just
family there's this clearly extended family that was all getting together. I think it was over the weekend, and they all of the kids in that family were so good at football. And I was like, none of them are like over 12, and I was just like,
through a heck of a spiral.
Yeah, like these kids like know how to play football. One of them is going to play professional football for sure, but I'm pretty sure they fielded a team with how many of them there were. Yeah. So Derek mentioned pickleball, which is our next point. Do you guys know what pickleball is? Let me know in the comments if you know what pickleball is. Over there.
But in the meantime, everybody close it.
Yeah. So pickleball is kind of like a mini tennis, if you will. You have like a little smaller racket and stuff and like a different ball. And the court looks like a tennis court but without the alleys. Man, oh man. That pickleball is like all the rage
everywhere. Everybody
in
plays
this town
pickleball.
At least.
Well, the best way I ever heard it was that pickleball is tennis with smaller rackets and wiffle balls. It's basically what it is.
It's not a ping pong ball. It's like almost like it's a wiffle ball. I think.
Yeah, it's a wiffle ball. That's what I just
said. At least
said.
when I played pickleball in high school gym class. By the way, pickleball champion of high school gym class, right here. I know, like round of applause. Thank you. When I played it, we used a wiffle ball. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
I don't know if the Utah. Somebody's saying like ping pong. It's definitely bigger. It's a bigger ball, but it's not a tennis ball.
Yeah, no, but so it's on a smaller court. So smaller court, pickleball. It's like a smaller racket but bigger ball. It looks like a lot of fun. A lot of these, it's all over the place. Actually, when we first got here, we thought that there were tennis courts nearby. It turned out they were actually pickleball courts. And everybody just loves playing it. I hypothesize that the reason why it's so big in the desert is that there's a little bit less running around, I think, versus tennis. And I'm like, we're in a desert, so that kind of makes sense. Like, maybe you want to, not run quite as much.
Especially if you're playing doubles.
And it's super popular also in, the older, advanced age communities. So,
Is it?
Yeah, it's huge in my grandma's neighborhood in Phoenix. So it's huge in Arizona. It's huge in Utah.
I didn't know that.
But it's super popular in Utah. Like my aunt and uncle were telling us, they're like, yeah, some of our friends are super competitive at pickleball, but when the big local intramural type thing happens, there's a big tournament that happens.
Let me
here.
interrupt for a second. There's several bigger kind of there's a big triathlon, a big marathon that happens here every year, and then there's big adult intramural sports that takes over the whole city.
Yeah.
So Derek's not talking about just local intramurals. It's people from all over Utah, all over this area.
Yeah, no. So it's really big. They call it the Huntington Games or something like that. And so it's a big deal, and pickleball is the most competitive thing out there. So kind of crazy, kind of fun, kind of cool. Yeah, so we've seen a lot of people playing it since we've been here, and we haven't given it a try yet. I think that we can actually go check out pickleball stuff from the clubhouse here, and then play it. So that might be a fun thing for us to do. She'd whoop my butt. She would just destroy me.
So I was a high school varsity tennis player for
And I was not.
State championship team. I did not play in state, but
my brother
competed.
was. My brother was a state championship tennis player, but I am not. So.
And he's actually kept it up, whereas I have not. So my pickleball skills might be gone.
I actually love when her and my brother play tennis together. That's a lot of fun to watch.
It's been years since we've done that.
Yeah. So all right. So that's pickleball, and so that leaves one more thing on our list.
Uno más. Yeah. Do you want me to say this one?
I got it.
Okay.
So, the one, not the one, there's a lot of good things about Utah. But one of the great things about Utah is that you're not going to worry about, having a lack of choice for food options. Because there's quite a variety of ethnic foods here in Utah, including Thai, sushi, Mexican food definitely, and a lot of other things. So, I think that it's a great place to get really diverse foods. If you look at things people do talk about Mormons within Utah quite a bit because that is it's a large percentage. It's not the majority, but it is quite a bit. But the LDS Church, the Mormon Church, is actually very diverse into South America. It's actually the fastest growing church in South America.
There's a lot Hawaiian LDS folks.
So there's poke restaurants. There's just a lot of different ethnic restaurants here in Utah. So that's actually a really cool thing. And
that's
I remember
that you
when
really notice in Salt Lake City. Sorry to interrupt, but
I was about to say that.
Oh, sorry.
I was about to say that's especially when you go to a place like Salt Lake City, there's not just ethnic restaurants. There's breweries. There's a bunch of really cool high-end food in Utah.
Yeah. And you'll notice it here too in southern Utah.
Yeah.
And you will notice it in Moab, which we've mentioned several times before. That is kind of that gateway into Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park.
Beautiful.
And
Go to
that I'm not going to say the LDS Church necessarily contributes to the diversity of cuisine that you're going to find there. It's definitely because Moab is such an international hub for nature lovers. And so there's people from all over the world in typical years who go there, and there's so many great a variety of restaurants that you can visit. But we were delighted to find that was the case here in St. George area as well, because we didn't really know what to expect. And it's certainly fewer because this area is much less populated than Salt Lake City, for example. but there was, you know, we tried the Thai sushi restaurant this week, and it was really good.
Yeah. No, and I would definitely say that, you know.
Hi, Mary Ellen, by the
Utah is a
way.
place-
Sorry, I meant to say hi.
Mary
before.
Ellen, what's up, Mary Ellen Dillon? All right, so Utah is a place that, and I just saw this from Kim M that said that she's listening like a podcast, which is very fun, and it's worked very well. So we're glad that you're enjoying it. And she's saying that Utah is not a place that I had considered, but it sounds cool. Yeah, so Utah is a place that I had never come to until 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink while you talk about your Utah.
Yeah, so I was a Utah noob a few years ago. I had never been here until we came down and we visited our friend in Salt Lake City and had a great time. It was like I also had all these preconceptions, preconceived notions about what Utah was going to be like, and I was super pleasantly surprised, you know, given like the bar scene, breweries, you know, we went to like a really fun craft brewery that, you know, I was able to get like a few little like tastes and stuff while I was there, and we just had a great time. And, you know, going up to like Park City for like an art fair, you know, obviously people think about, you know, Utah, they think about skiing in the wintertime because Park City and a few of those places are just, you know, world-class skiing and like snowboard and all that stuff. But there's just, it has so much to offer. So, you know, anybody who's thinking about a place that loves nature, you know, loves national parks, state parks, things like that. I mean, there's 5 national parks, tons of state parks. It's definitely a place to come to. I would highly recommend it.
We talked so much about cider, I thought I would just...
She got some angry orchard. But yeah, no, it's you know, Utah's a great place, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you love nature. So.
Absolutely. Pickleball sounds like it's in South Carolina, too, according to Blaine.
There we go. Nick Barnett's, what's up, Nick?
I need to know if Blaine plays pickleball. Hi, Nick. Thanks for joining. So Nick messaged me that he might not be able to make it, but sounds like he did, which is really, really nice.
Stoked.
Thank you. So we just finished our list of like all of our takeaways from Utah. If anybody has other ones from any trips that you guys have taken to Utah that you want to share with the community, please do so. But we've now been to Utah, like we've been to Salt Lake City, Moab, and St. George now.
Which is like the Zion area.
Yeah. I mean, I've been more than you have in the past 3 years, but like we've been both of us, between us, have been several times.
She's been to all these places twice. I have not.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
You've been to
That
Salt
is
Lake
exactly
twice,
true.
Moab twice,
Well, I've been to
and
Salt
St.
Lake
George twice.
more than twice, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've been to Salt Lake once, Moab once, and St. George
Ermi,
twice.
hi, welcome.
Hey, Ermi, Frank.
Frank, hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
Okay, so Frank. Okay. Frank is my uncle, and he knows all the things about Utah. All the things. All the things.
Also, anything about rocks. If you have a rock question, ask Frank.
Yeah, if
he
you
knows rocks. Frank, that should totally be your Instagram handle.
Okay.
Frank knows rocks. That'd be so good. Get it now.
Frank says, need to go to Green River, Utah, rafting awesomeness. So
Oh yeah,
we
he
do.
was telling us about like rafting and stuff. We want to do that.
I have whitewater rafted. Have you?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. I would love
But
for
I
me and
want to.
Derek to whitewater raft together. I think that would be a super fun experience. Let us know if you guys have places that you really loved whitewater rafting, and put them in the chat too. My favorite so far has been I did the Compadre River in Colorado.
Frank, just so you know, I just checked it. Frank Loves Rocks is totally available on Instagram.
What about Frank Loves Frogs? Because he also loves frogs. Anyway, Tennessee has good whitewater rafting, says Blaine. I've
Frank
heard that.
Knows Rocks is also available.
I really wanna research more about like what's available whitewater rafting further east than I've done. I've only really done it out west, so that'd be cool. Spent a few days in Green River, enjoyed that there was nothing there instead of staying in Moab. I could see that. That'd be really, really great. Yeah. Frank's also rafted in Alaska.
Frank Loves Frogs is also available. So all of these are potential Instagram accounts for you, bud. Please do that. That'd be so good. Sorry.
How's the weather here?
The weather's great. Today was like 55 and sunny.
So let's set expectations, though, because for those of you guys who follow us on Instagram, it probably looks a lot warmer than it is. It's probably like highs in the upper 50s, low 60s each day. Yeah. But lows get into the 30s for sure. So
yeah, but if you're out while the sun's out and you're in the sun, it's very enjoyable because the sun is pretty intense. So if you're in the sun, awesome. You walk into the shade and you're like, oh my God, it's cold. So like that happened on our hike. We were in the sun vast majority of the time, and then there was like this like stretch of 5 to 10 minutes when we were in the shade, and suddenly I went from like, man, I'm sweating, to like, I am cold.
Yeah.
And it's one of those times when you just like really want layers. So kind of no matter what, when you're in the desert, you know, there's huge, you know, differentials between being in the sun and in the shade. So like no matter what, if you're in Tucson or if you're in Utah, wherever you are, make sure you kind of bring layers so you can like adjust as needed.
Absolutely. Hi, Wishing Mouse, by the way, welcome.
What's up?
So when we did our hike, I wore like a exercise shirt and then a like exercise half zip, I guess, and it was perfect. Quarter zip, yeah.
Probably quarter. Half is a long way.
It was like, kind of like what Derek's wearing now, but thinner. But it's supposed to be good for runners and stuff. And I was able to take that off when I got hot, and wrap it around my shoulders, so that way I was protecting my shoulders from sun exposure, and I was able to protect my shoulders from getting any sort of like rubbing against my backpack and stuff like that. So I was golden during the hike.
I was too. I really enjoyed the hike. The hike was great.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other things that we've really enjoyed here about Utah is like the wildlife and stuff. Like the wildlife sightings have been kind of fun. Nothing like big. We haven't seen any like bobcats or anything like crazy like that. But we have seen like a lot of like quail, roadrunners, little like
lizards,
chipmunk-looking things,
rabbits,
lizards, a lot of like hares and rabbits and stuff. Every time we do, we're like, duck season, wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season.
There definitely are more wildlife, and you can, and oh, thank you, Daniel Fields. Yes, if for those of you guys who maybe are new, if you could press that like button, that'd be super awesome. Thank you so much for that shout out. That's really sweet of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've really liked seeing all the different wildlife, but we've heard that there's like mountain lions around too. Hopefully we don't see those in person.
Cautious.
Yeah.
We're very cautious. But no, I mean, it's been fun. We've had a great time. We're enjoying it here a lot. We actually really enjoy. So like, let's transition the topic a little bit away from just like Utah specific, and I just want to talk a little bit about, you know, types of travel, right? So, you know, obviously there's the typical week-long vacation that people tend to have. So like 7 to 10 days is kind of like that typical American vacation time that people have. If you're in Europe, you know, it's probably more like you have a couple weeks, you know, where you have time to take time off. But in the U.S., it's probably more like 7 to 10 days. So in that time, there's a few different options for how you would travel. And a lot of people will they go to one location, they spend the entire time there, and that's it. Kind of more of like a deeper travel in one location. Other people will do a road trip where they hit a bunch of different places over a number of days. What I will say is that we've really enjoyed being in Utah because, you know, we're benefiting from not having to do the typical 7 to 10 days. We can be here for 28 days. So we're in Utah for a month, and we've really liked having this like time to take it slow.
Yeah.
Ease into it. We're able to work, get stuff done. Eliz has done a ton of work on like video editing.
Welcome.
Hey, Talega, what's up? Good to see you again. We just saw you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's a great time to be able to actually like get stuff done, take a breather and kind of relax, which has been like very cool. And with the exception of when we were in Cincinnati, we didn't really have this much time in a place except for in Portsmouth when we were in quarantine.
Yeah.
So like this is only the third place we've been in the last like 6 months where we've had like this amount of time to really kind of relax, get stuff done, focus, and it's been really great because it's allowed us to like we still did some of that stuff where we were going like place to place on the way down here. You know, it was a 3-day road trip to Tucson, 2,500 miles, a long time. But now that we're here, I will say there's something to this like slow travel, spending a lot of time in a given place so we can like live it, you know?
Absolutely. I just want to read off because I had asked the group about whitewater rafting experiences. And so Mr. Dan says that the New River Gorge in West Virginia, I believe he's saying.
That's actually the newest national park, I think, right? Is New River Gorge?
Is it? Okay, so
I think that's the
New
newest
River
national
Gorge
park.
has been on my bucket list because technically I've been to West Virginia, I count it, but like I want to go back in order to experience that. So I've always, like, every time I've mapped out a road trip for me and Derek that goes to the south to hit like all the states that I haven't been, I make sure that it passes through the New River Gorge area because regardless, I want to do the hiking there.
So New River Gorge is the 63rd national park and it's the newest national park. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just happened.
Like what? Like this week?
Yeah, like a week ago.
Oh. Okay. Well, someday we're definitely going.
A month ago? Maybe it was in like the last month.
Okay. And then people are saying Tennessee has great parks and waterfalls and lakes. We passed through a state park when we were driving through Tennessee.
Great.
But we didn't see. I know that you've been to Dale Hollow, but I haven't really been to any of the lakes or waterfalls in Tennessee.
Tennessee's great. Tennessee obviously has a lot of great cities in it and a lot of great music. Nashville, Memphis, etc. But what I will say is that my first time experiencing Tennessee was we used to go down to the Kentucky-Tennessee border. There's a rather large man-made reservoir down there called Dale Hollow that was awesome. We used to love going down there. We'd like get a houseboat with friends and they had sea-doos and jet ski, like, you know, speedboats and all that kind of stuff. We had a blast. So, you know, there's a lot of great lakes and stuff down there. If you think about like the Tennessee Valley Association,
a lot of like good lakes, not great lakes.
There's a lot of fantastic lakes out there. So if you think about TVA, right? So that's like Roosevelt era, you know, Great Depression, trying to put people to work. And one of the things that they did to do that was that they built all these hydroelectric dams to help bring electricity to that part of the country. And by doing that, they created a bunch of reservoirs. Dale Hollow was one of these. And so there's a ton of lakes for like water sports and other cool activities. So Tennessee's great.
Yeah. I want to answer some of Ermi's questions about Utah. So
Utah.
Shoot us questions about Utah, by the way, but it sounds like Ermi's interested in Utah. So we're happy to answer those as best as we can. She's asking, are restaurants open in Utah, and what are the COVID restrictions like there?
Yes, they are open, and they are open for in-restaurant seating. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the... we haven't gone to any.
In almost everything, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, you definitely have to wear a mask. I don't know what their occupancy is looking like right now, if it's at 50% or something different than that.
We should probably figure that out.
Yeah, we should figure that out. But
and that's a great question. We just we're kind of being like super cautious right now. Just since we're on the road and everything like that, like we aren't vaccinated yet. We aren't dining at restaurants currently unless occasionally like an outdoor seating thing.
But I mean, besides that, I mean, like, you know, we're also, I mean, we have a kitchen, we have a refrigerator, we're looking at ways to like save money and stuff like that. So we are cooking quite a bit for ourselves. Like I said, we've only gotten takeout one time since we've been here in Utah for over the last like week plus. So we're definitely cooking a lot for ourselves.
Yeah. But we definitely know that there is indoor seating happening.
Oh yeah, totally.
We've also sort of started to consider. Derek found on one of his adventures out without me a French cafe.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it's a French cafe. I don't know. It's called Cafe Good Love or something like that, and it looks kind of fun. Yeah, it looks like they have like brunch and all that kind of stuff. So I would go there, especially on the day when I'm going to break keto. That sounds like a great time to go there.
We'll see if we end up going there, and we will report back on our next live stream.
But are cars required? I think cars are helpful in Utah.
I would almost say that I'm on the verge of saying they are necessary. Yeah.
Depends. If you're only doing Salt Lake City,
and
you're just staying in Salt Lake City, and that's where you're going to be the entire time, maybe you can get away with no car.
Yeah, and like if you needed to go to a restaurant that was several miles away, like maybe Uber.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely Uber here and stuff like that. But like, especially where we are in southern Utah, absolutely yes, you need a car. Yeah. Just even to get here.
Because most people coming in southern Utah are going to fly into Las Vegas and make the 2-hour drive up here. It's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yes. Is it? Yeah, yes. You're right.
So it's very easy if you're flying into Vegas, and Vegas you can get to directly from a lot of places. But you need to drive to get here. If you're coming in from Salt Lake, it's like a 4-hour drive, so it's even further.
Well, okay, I just want to say there technically is an airport in St. George.
There is an airport. You have to do probably a number of connections to get there. And I don't know what airlines. I think American and Delta both fly into there.
Don't quote me on this because I haven't looked at it since the pandemic started. What I do know is you can definitely get here on Delta from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
I think you can get here on American from Phoenix, but I'm not certain.
Yeah. So
you definitely could like several years ago.
But once you're here, if you didn't have a car, you'd have to rely on a car service to kind of get around. So it's just going to be easier if you have your own car. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Nick, I would say the Great Salt Lake is worth going to.
I've never been.
For like a half day. Like it's just cool to say, right? Like I've seen it, etc., etc. But I know people that have like gone out there and like made a day of it, kind of on the rocky shores and stuff like that. But you're not gonna like go swimming in it, right? So yeah, it's just it's one of those things where it's like I've seen it. Like I'm a cool traveler.
I've never seen it, so I guess I'm not a cool traveler. Because the last time we went, we did not make it. Because there's just a lot to do.
I technically haven't really like spent much time there. I've seen it.
So here's the thing. So if you're in Salt Lake City, there's a lot of great like little day trips that you can do from Salt Lake City. Obviously, you can go to the Great Salt Lake and actually do that as like a day trip. You can go to Park City, and even in the summertime when it's not like ski season, Park City is like still a lovely town. It's got great restaurants and bars. Really just like quaint, picturesque. Like the main Main Street downtown area is just really cool. Kind of runs up a hill. Yeah. And has some great like outdoor dining options and whatnot. We happened to be there when they were having their outdoor art fair, which was like a super cool time to be there and look at like local and like national artists and whatnot, photographers, painters, sculptors, etc. It was super cool. So.
Actually, one other thing I should add about if you're flying into Salt Lake, no matter what time of year, just expect there to be like a little bit more turbulence on your plane coming in for a landing than you might be used to, just because you're in the mountains and it's like.
Well, it's in like a valley, right? It's
in a valley, but like you're in the mountains, and that's just a general rule of thumb for anywhere that's in the mountains. But it's certainly a. Oh my gosh! Thank you for the super chat, Talega. Whew,
Talega.
Drinks on you for sure. Thank you for funding our expensive Utah alcohol habit. Okay.
I love that Talia was like, I'm here, and then drinks on me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. So,
okay.
Do you want me to start or you start?
Wait, it's this first. No, it's this.
No,
it's
it's this first.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Yay!
Whee!
Thank you for the super chat. You get the wave.
We've also been talking a lot about
wave
wave swag.
Yeah, we have.
And we've been talking about getting it on shirts, getting it on thermoses, getting it on like hats, whatever you want. We could put a wave on anything. So we're still like in early stages of looking at all that stuff. We need to find a cool like wave motif or something like that we can put on things. But I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for those, I guess Ermi might not have been.
You're gonna like snort out.
I almost did. I almost like lost it. So for anyone who's new on our live streams, anytime we get a super chat, we do the wave, and it's fun, and we love it, and we love you guys. Thank you.
It's funny. So we were just to let you guys in on some stuff. So we prior to this week, my like average step count on my like if I go into Apple Health and it tells me like my like last year's like step count has been like horrible since like COVID started. And this last week it's been like phenomenal. It's been like I've been hitting like 15,000 plus steps every single day. Today was not that day. So
Derek's so sleepy.
Talia, thank you very much. That just gave me a few more little steps here or there, but I'm working on it, guys. We'll get there. That's actually like one of the cool things about this specific place that we're at right now is that it has a really cool like loop around it.
That's
we
a
went out
huge
and found
bonus.
like the first day.
We didn't.
It's like a mile.
We did not know in booking this Airbnb that like this complex has a walking.
Yeah.
It's not a complete walking path, but we've figured out like a little way to make it complete.
Yeah, so it's a little over a mile, which is kind of cool. So like we just like go around it a number of times. We're like, okay, so we've hit our steps. Now we're done. It's good.
I walked around it twice today. So
she did that while I took a nap.
I did because you're a sleepy boy.
It was sleepy boy.
And I just needed to do my steps. Anyway, so if you guys have questions about Utah, anywhere in Utah. Hopefully places that we've gone, please let us know. If you have any other questions too, because we've been a lot of places, please let us know. And for those of you guys who weren't on the beginning, this coming week, I know it's been a while since we've released videos because we've just been on the go so much. Yep. And I am rectifying that. This coming week, I'm releasing 3 videos, not back to back to back to back to back, but like
probably within a week of each other.
Yeah, 3 videos this week. Hopefully before next live stream, which is next Thursday night, same time, same place. And so they're going to be our road trip videos. Yeah. So it's going to be
day 1, day 2, day 3. Because that's how numbers work.
And so we hit like a ton of different great places, and it's just going to be just fun videos with a couple of tips sprinkled here and there of how we prepared for our road trip and what we did during it. So hopefully you guys are in the mood for some new content.
Yeah, we it was actually funny because like when you're doing like a road trip and stuff and you're like driving for like a crazy amount of time, like 10 hours at a time, it's easy for things to just blend together, forget what you did, and just kind of like move on with your life. So it's kind of fun to like go through like these vlogs and like look at, oh no, yeah, we did that, oh my god, I forgot all that stuff, like, because it's just like it's almost like the in one ear out the other.
Especially
sort of
our time in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I feel
Hot Springs was cool.
Gosh,
I remember feeling like cold.
Yeah,
I remember feeling it was like
has been
wet
super
and
fun.
cold.
It was.
It was like super damp.
We were like, I don't know, it was winter in the mountains.
It was like it was cold and humid, which is like a horrible sensation.
Right.
But
and
it was very beautiful. We really enjoyed it.
And we like walked into the national park real quickly, and it's like I almost forgot that this happened because it was at the beginning of one of our days, and I was like, oh, this is like the best part of our trip, I think. I don't know. No, it wasn't. I mean, everything was really cool.
It was our first national park of the trip.
It was our first national park of the trip, yeah.
So far, it's our only national park of the trip. So I think our next one's going to be Zion, where we need need to hit Zion.
No, that's not true. We went to Saguaro National Park.
I take that back. It was our first one, and Saguaro was our second, and then our third is going to be Zion.
Ermi, great question. Sunday is my birthday, but we are celebrating today. Cheers.
Early.
Yeah, especially because, as mentioned previously, Sundays in Utah are hard to celebrate.
Yeah, no, so...
But no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
The first place that I ever had that where I felt like Sundays were like really like shut down, because I had never really experienced that before until I went to Spain. When I was in Spain, that was one of those places where, so I studied abroad in Sevilla, in southern Spain, in Andalusia, and that was like the first place I ever went to where I remember wanting to be like, oh, I want to get XYZ, like I want to go buy something, and like everything was closed, like Corte Inglés, which is like their big department stores, like everything was shut down. And so it's kind of fun to like now come back and be in the US and say like, oh, it's not just like another country thing, it's actually there's different parts of the United States that are like that as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, because like the US is huge, and so like it has all these different like little like microcosms of the world within it, which is really neat.
Thanks to everybody wishing me a happy early birthday. You guys are the best. Yeah, so fun fact is so my birthday is February 28th, but I was actually born on a year that was a leap year.
So she was,
and I was born at night on February 28th. And so I was very close to being born on leap day.
Yeah.
Extremely close. And then Derek's mom texted me this week, right? And you guys kind of met Derek's family dog, Lexi, on one of our live chats a month ago or so.
She's adorable.
She is adorable, but she doesn't like to be in the spotlight. She doesn't like cuddling and stuff like that. So she's not good on the chats and stuff. She gets anxious and leaves. She's great. So Derek's parents adopted Lexi when she was like a couple years old. And the vet paperwork came back this week, and Derek's mom texts me that Lexi was actually born on February 29th.
Basically the same.
Yeah, well, it's like basically we have to share a cake every year, but...
Made of different things.
But I was like, oh my gosh, this is why we bond so much. No, just kidding. I love dogs. I love all dogs. But
if Lexi came, she could have a cupcake.
Yeah, Lexi'd be allowed to have a cupcake. Well, that's not true. They all look like they're chocolate.
Yeah, she can't have any.
No, she can't have any of those cupcakes. All mine. But anyway, so yeah, they have a dog who is technically going to be turning 9, but instead is going to be turning 2.5. So,
because
dog's gonna live forever.
Yes, basically Eliz and Lexi have the same birthday, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean,
If I had been born in Europe, which, like, praise, that would have been awesome, I would have been born on leap day.
Okay, yeah. So, she says this. I actually did have to, growing up, I shared a birthday cake with my brother.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, with... because Derek's born, like, close enough to Christmas that I thought he was going to be like, I had to share my birthday with Christmas. But yeah.
Basically that too.
You and your brother were born like 2.5 weeks apart, but I could see that.
But it was still like one cake a lot of times.
It's okay. Me and Lexi are going to share a cake.
I'm not salty about it. All these years later.
Derek loves carrot cake. I don't know if you guys are into that.
It's my favorite.
And that's like...
Carrot cake is awesome. This year for my birthday, my brother was not there, and so I got my carrot cake.
You got your carrot cake. Your parents gave you a carrot cake, and it was so cute.
But then, so my dad got like this like... I just remember it was like massively tall like carrot cake from... I don't know where he got it from, but it was just massive, and it was delicious, and it had like that like super sweet like cream cheese icing, which was awesome. But it was so huge that it was like, as we were eating through it, I'm like, I don't think we can eat this whole thing. Like, it was huge.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And
it was dense. And
my mom Ruth Armstrong is correct. My due date was April Fool's Day, so I fooled you, and I was born in February. Gotcha.
Salty. Ha ha ha. You are in Utah. Thanks, Jeremy. I did not mean for that to be a pun, but I enjoy it anyways. Ooh, yeah, Blaine likes red velvet and
Wait.
which I love red velvet
Tommy,
as well.
I need to clarify. Are you saying that you're born on January 7th? Because that is Derek's birthday.
Where are you saying this?
He said brother was born on the 5th and him on the 7th, less than a year apart, and we celebrated the 6th. We need to know what month you're talking about, Tommy. We need to know that you and Derek share a birthday.
Yeah, no, so carrot cake, awesome, red velvet. Actually, red velvet that's up there. That's a good cake. Anything with cream cheese icing for me is June, not January.
I was always so jealous of people born in the summertime because ice cream cake is like...
I don't like that.
Ice cream cake is my jam. Oh, give me more of that.
Yeah.
February birthday, I would...
You
not
know
calling
what?
out my mom, who is
no,
clearly
no,
on
no,
this
no.
chat, because I understand completely why you would not give a child ice cream cake at the end of February in Chicago, Illinois. But, I wanted it. I think there was a few years that they did.
Summer's bad because...
my parents were nice, and I think there was a few years that they did do that.
Summer's not great because you can't be with all your school friends for birthday, because it's like summertime. And then also January 7th's not great because that's you're also out of school for winter break still usually.
Ermi and I are on the same page on the ice cream cake train. Maybe there's a spaghetti ice cream cake.
Spaghetti ice.
I would be super into that idea. Please make that happen with Darion. Nick's birthday's in late December, and he still has ice cream cake on his birthday. Yes, Nick, I knew we were friends for a reason. Thank you. I feel like Thomas is about to say the same thing, perhaps. Tommy, okay, so you were born in June. Okay. All right, so not the same birthday as Derek, but we're on the same page in terms of that. And okay, wait. So you said your brother is June 5th. That's my dad's birthday. I don't know if Al Armstrong is still on this chat, but that would be pretty cool. Blaine says, matter of fact, I tried to get a red velvet cake blizzard at Dairy Queen, but they closed before I got there. So the Dairy Queen in Derek's parents' town is seasonal. And so we tried to go to Dairy Queen at one point when we were there between December and February, and that was a no-go. I think the Dairy Queen here might be open, though. And there's certain, places in the U.S., Dairy Queen serves, a broader menu than other places. So I know, for example, in Texas and in the South and stuff, I think they serve, burgers and everything. Dairy Queen, where I'm from, is kind of just blizzards, etc. June 4th is your husband's birthday. Very nice. Wow, sounds like a lot of Gemini on the in this crew. Nick says, I tried a mint chocolate chip ice cream cake from Cold Stone for the first time on my birthday and loved it. Nick, okay, sounds like you and I are best friends here, because I absolutely love, what's up? Oh, you're just seeing how... No, I still have plenty. I'm good. Okay, so when I rushed my sorority in college, the final day of before they you had to choose which one you wanted to be in and stuff. My sorority served me what was called black bottom pie, and it's essentially peppermint ice cream inside of a chocolate cake.
Black bottom pies that make the rockin' world go round. No.
Yeah, and they sang that. Just kidding. Derek just made that up. Queen did not perform.
Queen didn't perform.
A parody at my sorority.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so there was peppermint ice cream inside of the chocolate cake, and I was like, you have sold me. I am now part of your crew.
Mind blown.
It was the best. So yeah, peppermint ice cream is good. Peppermint ice cream with hot fudge is excellent. Peppermint ice cream inside of a chocolate cake is like...
I don't know.
2 birthdays in Helen. Guys, okay, so Blaine's is March 20th, so Blaine is also Pisces. And
Ronnie
then,
Dove liked my parody.
Wait, is Ronnie... Because Ronnie said his birthday is March 8th. Is Ronnie going to Helen, Georgia, too? Or is this... Ronnie, if you're going to Helen, Georgia, too, we're going to feel very left out of this, like, Helen, Georgia trip.
You know what, though? I just want German food. I want pretzels. I want bratwurst. I want sauerkraut. I want awesome mustard. That sounds amazing. And good beer. Michelob Ultra's fine from like a low carb perspective, but like I want a good beer. I want one where I'm like I'm eating a pretzel, and I just want that like.
Oh, Roxanne, I'm
beer.
so sorry. We can stop talking about ice cream. She says she can't have any of it. She used to go to Dairy Queen.
I used to love Blizzards where they do like the upside down thing to show you that it stays in the cup.
I was saying when
you
you were away, that the Blizzard or the Dairy Queen in your parents' town is seasonal, so that was a huge letdown.
Yeah, it's like the walk up type place. So actually, it was funny because like I had never really seen those. Like the Dairy Queens where I grew up were more like the drive-through, maybe you go in sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this was like that, like you walk up to the counter. It's like counter service type stuff, or like window service. And I had never seen that before really, and until my parents moved down there. And I was like, this is like so quaint. This is like so. I'm like, what about in the wintertime? They're like, oh, it shuts down. I'm like,
Pardon?
what? Like it's like just you just don't have Dairy Queen in the wintertime? That makes no sense.
Well, it's also because it's like a publicly traded company, right?
Yeah,
so,
I was like, that makes no sense.
So you're like, how
well,
do
no, it's not. It's owned by
Dairy Queen's
Buffett.
not publicly traded?
Owned by Warren Buffett.
But meaning
it's
that
part of Berkshire Hathaway.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's private?
I think so.
So he owns Dairy
That was always
Queen
the joke, was that
and
Warren Buffett's like granddaughter always had like the coolest like flex, which was my grandfather owns Dairy Queen. And that's just like pretty cool.
I've actually very, very briefly I've met Wendy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Warren Buffett. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing.
No, that'd be pretty neat too.
You did meet
I met Wendy. I'll let you guys assume which Wendy I'm
I mean, there's only one Wendy, right? Wendy of Frosty fame.
So let us know. Okay, we've gone down a
rabbit
hole of Dairy Queen and like whatchamacallits, like fast foods. But keep us posted. Are you guys planning any trips right now? Where are you guys planning on going this spring, this summer? And hopefully we can give some advice. Like we're on a very long road trip.
Did Wendy offer you a Baconator with a side of fries?
Wendy did not.
Let's not go too far into this.
Yeah.
Wendy was a client at one point in time.
Yeah.
So Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett owns Dairy Queen. It's a massive company, over like $3.5 billion in revenue each year. It's huge. But yeah, no, he owns that. So that's pretty cool. And I guess, if you go and you go where the Oracle of Omaha lives, Warren Buffett, I guess like you can
been to Omaha.
I've been to Omaha, not to see Warren Buffett.
I actually, sorry to interrupt you.
I've been there one time for business.
Yeah, I want to hear, what was
out.
Omaha, Nebraska like?
Well, I remember flying over Omaha and being like, it's actually really nice. It looks nice. Like there's like a ton of trees and greenery and all that stuff, and like
And what time
hills.
of year were you there?
It was green out, so
not winter.
not winter, not fall. So probably spring or summer. I don't remember.
Okay.
But no, it was nice. I was there for a meeting and went in, did that, left. It was pretty easy, but Omaha was nice. I remember thinking, I should come back here sometime and like actually like visit the city.
Where did you stay?
I didn't stay. It was a day trip.
Oh, it was a day trip. Never mind.
In and out from New York. Super
wow,
easy.
that's a long day trip. let's see, where else have you been? That you stayed overnight. What about, where else did you go for work? Detroit. What was Detroit like?
Detroit.
Cool, thanks.
This is me using my adjectives again, guys.
Yeah.
No, so
okay, to be clear, in the upcoming videos this coming week on this channel, Derek uses
better adjectives.
stronger adjectives to describe foods than in previous videos.
I don't say things like it's sticky, toffee, and puddingy.
Derek uses his words, and you feel it. It resonates.
I will say, when we were filming, though, she was like, come on. I'm like, you wanted me to use verbs. I need to figure out the adjectives and verbs. You know, it's like...
I wanted you to use adjectives, not verbs.
Mainly adjectives. The sandwich is digesting. I'm using a gerund here. No. So, places that... See, I can make her laugh, guys. That's why I got her.
All right. So in our earlier vlogs from... we're laughing with... Hopefully you guys are laughing with us.
We're laughing out at each other.
So in our earliest vlogs from the UK, before I started like really editing things and realizing that Derek was very consistently terrible at describing food,
which you'd think, looking at me, they're like, he must know food. I'm
no,
like,
but
no.
You do know food.
I do know food, actually.
But like...
Describing food as I eat it.
Some of the descriptive adjectives that Derek uses in the vlogs is just like... It was like painful for me to watch while editing because I'm like, Derek, this is terrible. You're describing sticky toffee pudding as sticky. Like, help us out here. Come on.
Give me more.
Give me a little bit more.
Very good. It's very tasty. Sticky toffee pudding is phenomenal, by the way. And like that first sticky toffee pudding that we had in Kent was like, that was the best sticky toffee pudding that we had in the entire time that we were in the UK. I will stand by that. It was awesome.
Yeah. So like in this upcoming week, you guys are gonna see Derek eat beaver nuggets, and he uses strong
beaver
descriptors.
Nuggets, so good.
He uses similes,
We
maybe even a metaphor.
We still have some of them here, I think. No, so we were talking about something else though.
Oh,
you asked me about a place.
I asked you about
and then you didn't
Detroit.
let me actually talk about it. Detroit. Which
is close to the actual Great Lakes.
So, it's on a Great Lake. It's on Erie. So, Detroit I went to many, many times back in the day. And, yeah, no, Detroit's fine. Most of the times I went there, I was more in the burbs because a lot of the companies are actually in the suburbs. Ford was actually kind of like one of the big, first big companies to move into the city of Detroit. People hear a lot about Dan Gilbert and Quicken, what's this company?
It's okay.
Can't think of it.
You could say anything and I wouldn't know if it's right or wrong.
Quicken Loans.
Quicken Loans?
Yeah, Quicken Loans. So Dan Gilbert came in with Quicken Loans, and he's done a lot to revitalize Detroit. Detroit has really come up quite a bit. Detroit-style pizza is a thing, which I was not aware of, actually, until I started working out there. One of my bosses is from Detroit, so he was always very, into that. So, if you think about, Little Caesars, and that's, the name of the arena, there's, Little Caesars Stadium or arena or whatever. And then you've got, what's the other one? Starts with a D. What's the big national chain that starts with a D?
Oh, I wasn't listening. Domino's?
Domino's is also a really big, Detroit pizza place. So, they actually take quite a bit of pride in their pizza, kind of like Chicago and New York does, and it is different. It has a thicker crust, but it's not quite like New York style deep dish. It's pretty good.
Tommy Dodson is going to Mackinac Island in the spring of 2021.
Oh, nice.
Which neither Derek nor I have been
That's
to.
like the border of the Upers, the Upper Peninsula.
You get to go
to
the upper and the lower if you want to.
Upper.
We really actively look to going to Mackinac Island in 2020.
Yeah, we were talking with a lot. Hey, speak of the devil, Simply Jocelyn. Hello, dears. Coercing our kids to bed, but wanted to say hi. What's up, Simply Jocelyn?
Coercing your kids to bed, I understand.
That's funny.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, we had to put our basil down to sleep earlier. And it was
we
a
now
fight the whole time.
now have a basil plant. It's part of our family.
Darion's on. What's up, howdy?
Oh my gosh, all these great new people are on. Okay, but anyway, so Mackinac Island.
But back to the point. Mackinac Island.
We
We talked to a lot of people like Jocelyn about like Mackinac Island.
We were planning out a trip to the Upper Peninsula in 2020, and that included Mackinac Island to us.
Yep.
Which I know it's kind of like that border region.
Living on the
But we ended up not going. We in Chicago, because we lived in Chicago at the time, had very strict rules. And we are rule followers in this household.
Yep.
So we opted against it.
That's not the only reason. We're also then planning our UK trip. So we ended up going to the UK for 3 months at the end of September, and that.
But we were looking at it for the summer.
That would have coincided a little bit with when we were looking at going to like Mackinac.
Sure. So, well, that's not true. We were looking at the UP for the summer. And you guys, if you've been around a long time, probably heard us talking about it, and it didn't end up panning out. There was just a lot of things that we had to consider from a living in Chicago perspective. Here we are now. We have not been in Chicago since August of 2020.
Simply Jocelyn, you poor dear, is putting a plant to bed while I'm putting 2 wild animals to bed. Yes, it's tough out here, Jocelyn. I don't know. I mean, it's really, just.
Best of luck in your endeavor. We're sending you good vibes.
Cheers. We loved your guys' live stream though the other day. It was a lot of fun hanging out, and thank you very much for the kind words.
It was last night. We loved it last night.
Didn't I say that? Did I not say that?
You said the other day. And
the other day, last night.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Man, you're just like nitpick. You're just like.
I guess I'm
picking.
Guys, please forgive me.
But it's her birthday. It's my birthday, and I'll pick if I want to.
What a good song.
Guys, I'm really good at parodies.
You've actually been crushing parodies lately.
I'm just saying. Weird Al, watch out.
Hello to Mark as well. Mark and Jocelyn, you're the best. Okay, so back to Mackinac Island. You're going to have a great time. Don't bring a car. Bring a horse maybe, or a bike.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I don't know.
I don't think there's any cowboys.
That's a great
there.
song.
Eat some cherries.
Wait, actually, so Jocelyn,
November he has a cruise to France planned. Cruise in France. Huh? Can I come? Fall trip to Germany with Darion. Ugh, everybody's going on that but me. I talked about that trip on Darion's live stream on Saturday. If you guys didn't catch that, it is on the Magnificent Germany with Darion channel, where we get to chat and hang out for like 4 hours, and it was the bee's knees.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Darion, we had a blast hanging out with you and Colleen and your kids. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun kind of connecting for the first time, kind of like mano a mano or whatever, which I guess means hand to hand.
Ryan Donahue says when you describe sticky toffee pudding, you should say it's adhesive, not sticky.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's not sticky. It's very adhesive. It's an adhesive boiled milk. Wet.
That is like
dessert.
the most unappetizing way to say sticky, I feel. Oh, this food is adhesive.
It's gummy.
Oh my gosh.
Sticky toffee pudding, though, for everybody who has never had it before, highly recommended. It's very good. It's like a caramel soaked bread pudding type thing that's sweetened with like dates and whatnot. It is phenomenal. Highly recommended.
Thomas says he's doing Nashville next month, Europe in June. Which, by the way, can you remind me where you're going in Europe in June? Because that's awesome. December, and then Alaska in August, which I did know about Alaska, and I'm so excited to see your photos from Alaska because I want to go as well. Sounds like Tommy might be interested in Alaska too. Gosh, that would be a really cool place. So Derek and I are expecting to, even though we want to get vaccinated as soon as possible, just because we're younger and stuff like that, like we are expecting to not get vaccinated for many, many months still. And so if we end up just doing more like domestic stuff, Alaska would be such a cool place to check off the list.
Yeah, Alaska would be cool. But at the same time, like,
Ronnie wants to do Alaska too.
Yeah, no, I want to go, but I really want to go through an Alaska cruise, and I would not do that until I'm vaccinated.
So the reason why I am not set and settled on an Alaskan cruise versus like other type of trip to Alaska is because Frank, who was on earlier, I think he might be off now.
Frank loves rocks.
Frank loves rocks. Frank loves frogs.
Frank knows rocks.
He has done whitewater rafting in Alaska. He's done a lot of the national parks. I wouldn't say all, because I think there's like a ton of national parks up there, but he's done several of the national parks there and just done a lot of exploring up there. And I've heard for so many years how cool it was. Yeah. So I really want to go and do some of those land experiences. I don't know if I have the survival skills for it, so like pray for me, but I really want to do it.
So Troy S says he's looking at Columbus, Georgia, Las Vegas, or Seattle.
Awesome.
I don't know anything about Columbus, Georgia. I do know that Las Vegas and Seattle are both great places. Don't know when you're looking at going, Troy.
We were just in Las Vegas.
We were just in Vegas.
Actually, our last live stream, we shared a ton of Vegas takeaways.
Yeah, and check out any of this, Troy, but obviously check out any of Walter's World's videos on Vegas. Turn It Up World, Yellow Productions actually has quite a bit of videos on Vegas as well. All that stuff's phenomenal. My takeaway from Vegas is that I felt relatively safe there. They're still at relatively low capacities. If you're there during the weekdays, it feels very safe. Yeah. But yeah, no. And then in Seattle's a cool town.
Seattle, I would say city. Yeah.
City. It's a cool city. Sorry. Seattle's very cool. I enjoy it. You can still get world-class food, phenomenal, coffee. Clearly, it's a coffee town with the Starbucks heritage. But there's like places outside. Don't just go to Starbucks. There's some really top-notch coffee places outside of Starbucks if you enjoy coffee.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have a specific Seattle-focused video on this channel, despite having been twice. And we actually went in September of 2019. To Seattle for several days.
It's a cool city.
But I do have an interview with one of my good friends who lives in Seattle from I think I posted it either end of March or early April of 2020. And she talked about what the pandemic experience was like in Seattle for her, because unfortunately Seattle was one of those early onset cities, right, where they had a lockdown at the beginning of March of 2020, and so they were experiencing something a bit different than the rest of the country was. So I talked to her about what that was like. So if you are interested in that interview, definitely check it out. And so I either posted at end of March or early April. But then, while all of that information is probably not relevant, it's just more of like a historical documentation, there's so many great places to visit in Seattle. I'm a Starbucks fan, so like I absolutely loved visiting the original Starbucks. Derek and I also went to Cary Park in Seattle to overlook the city. We went to what was that area of Seattle that we were like right on the waterfront? There's all the houseboats and stuff. It's like a lake and stuff.
I don't remember.
Don't remember? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, you're gonna just find so many great natural beauty, like things to see.
Yeah. So one real quick thing, because I know that Tommy was asking about recommendations for things to do in Mackinac Island. One of the places that a friend of ours who's from Michigan and has done a lot of stuff in like Mackinac has said is that you definitely want to go to the Geranium Bar, Porch Bar area and get, isn't that the place for the cocktails on the porch? That's supposed to be a really cool spot. It's not cheap, but I guess it's supposed to be really cool at sunset. You go get like one cocktail,
Yeah,
sit
it's
on the
like-
rocker,
Cocktails are like
$30.
between like $20 and $30. Yeah, it's
not
crazy.
cheap. It's like New York. It's like New York plus prices. So you go, you do that, you have one cocktail, then you can talk about it. But it seems really cool.
Sorry, what's a place that you've traveled that was nicer than its reputation? Nick Barnett says. St. George area where we're at right now, I feel like doesn't have a reputation, and so we're trying to inform people that it's a pretty nice spot.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't say nice. It's nice because I just don't feel like most people know about it.
Indiana's great. I mean, I'm from Indiana. I feel like Indiana doesn't get a great rap all the time, and there's some really great spots.
From like a tourism perspective, though, I don't know if I would agree with that.
Yeah, Bloomington.
And I'm
Indiana
somebody who
is
went to
beautiful.
college in Indiana. It's a great place. Love it. Always love going. But
I'm gonna say
if you're like
Indiana.
trying to spend a week in Indiana, I don't know.
Indy 500, it's a party. It's great.
Nicer than this reputation. I feel like this is gonna be one of those where I'm gonna follow up next week after thinking about
With a
this for
ton of
an
ideas.
entire week. Yeah, like next week's theme is going to be places that we loved that we
were surprised
expect.
about. Yeah.
Gosh.
I don't know. A lot of places that we go to have decent reputation, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. That you get us with.
I'm
the stumper
struggling
there.
with this one. Yeah, it's not because these don't exist. We're just drawing some blanks, I think. That's a great question, though, and very likely going to be a topic that we come back to.
Ray Blaine, I know food and food knows me well. Nice. Me too, bud. Nick Barnett said, the opposite problem and talk too much, so I have to find ways to be more efficient with my words without being blunt or boring at the same time. Yeah, it's hard.
Thomas, when you said you usually stay in
That's
Windsor...
for Detroit.
Oh,
So-
it's Windsor... Okay, in
So
Michigan.
Windsor's in Canada, and that's right across the river,
Right,
whatever,
yes,
from
okay.
from Detroit. And
I didn't know if he meant Windsor in London and then commuted in.
No,
But
no.
no, I know he doesn't do that, so...
Which Windsor's, that's where all like the casinos are. That's where like 18-year-old Americans go to drink. It's a cool place.
Yeah. A lot of people saying hi to all the new folks.
Oh, Mark, thank you.
Great stuff. Great
Look at those two good-looking travelers.
Sorry, we're kind of jumping around here.
Yeah, you jumped a little bit.
Maybe some tranquilizer darts might work.
On the chillin'.
Keep us posted. That was fun last Saturday. Absolutely, Darion. For anybody who hasn't seen our interview on Darion's channel, go check it out. That was we like playing those types of interviews on our smart TV on the YouTube app and stuff, so that way we can just listen in if we miss it.
That's interesting. So Simply Jocelyn says last night was great. Las Vegas. In Vegas, we ate at Saginaw's from Michigan. Excellent food. We found it on a road trip to Michigan.
Derek, save a horse.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. Thomas, yes, we are also not going on Darion's trip, but we want to.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of FOMO.
A little bit, especially like Oktoberfest sounds awesome. I just want to go to Oktoberfest.
Oh my gosh, melatonin for the kids some nights. That's fun. Melatonin, like, if I take that on for an airplane or something, I am like tuckered out the next day. Melatonin affects me really strong.
Yeah, and Simply Jocelyn's talking about sticky rice with mango is one of her favorite sticky foods.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big mango person, but there's a subsection of the population I have found. We've come together, if you will, to discover that we are similar.
Come together.
And I'm part of this subsection that I'm
Right
almost
now.
positive I do not taste mangoes the same way other people do.
Oh, really?
You know how like some people taste cilantro and they feel like it tastes like soap?
Cilantro is the best thing ever. So those guys are
And if
crazy.
you're in the UK, which you're probably not because of what time it is, but if you're in the UK, it's coriander. I'm pretty sure I taste mangoes differently than most people do. The end. That's my story.
Nick Barnett says that the word adhesive makes him think of Band-Aids.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It makes me think more of like glue than a food.
Ermi and Thomas are going to see each other in Nashville. Cool.
Oh, that's great.
They're going to go to dinner. That's very nice. That's very cool. Germany and UK both trips. I don't know what that is, but sounds cool.
Awesome.
Rayleigh Blaine would love an Alaskan cruise. Me too, bud. I've heard great things. I heard it's like a lot of fun. So, yeah. So Tommy says, Eliz, we were a little underwhelmed on the cruise, but really loved the land portion. You're right on.
Okay, with
so
Alaska.
It's probably about Alaska. So Simply Jocelyn says, the official Alaska travel guide is not bad. We ordered one last summer, but it took forever to get here.
Oh, really? Yeah. I bet there's so many printing presses or whatever they're called that were having issues. So hopefully they've rectified that with more things open.
Yeah. Nick Barnett says, Seattle is definitely high on my list. Never been, but seems like a place I'd like to go to. Yeah, so Seattle's great. Really good seafood. We actually went to this awesome place on the water, and I got like the crab meal thing. It was like, so good. Do you remember what it was called in Seattle? The crab place we went? The restaurant during like the crazy lightning storm.
Roy's.
It was Roy's.
Yep.
I can look this up because I'm pretty sure I've got this.
It was north of Seattle. It was not in downtown. It was closer to
Ray's Boathouse.
Yeah.
Delicious. Ray's Boathouse has like 2 different dining rooms. The main floor is like fancier, and then there's like a more casual dining option upstairs, but the menus are basically the same. So even though we were up at the more casual place that you didn't really need as much of a reservation for, I was able to get like their signature shellfish thing. It was awesome. It was expensive, but it was very good, and I was like, YOLO, let's do it.
Yeah.
Very tasty. So definitely do that. And then the other thing about Seattle is that, it's on the West Coast. So if you're going and you want soup dumplings, Din Tai Fung exists out there. They're very tasty. We had them. The Walters had them. It's really good stuff.
For Walters World, if you don't like coffee, go to this place that, I don't know if you've been to one before, but it's called Din Tai Fung.
Same as coffee.
I try to keep a straight face. And you drink the soup out of the dumpling, so it's still a liquid.
It's so good. No, it's delicious. And then, from a coffee perspective, you can go down to like Pike Place Market or whatever, which is like that historic fishmongers market and everything in Seattle. And that's really cool to go see. And there's obviously the Starbucks down there that's like the original. It doesn't feel that original. Which is fine, but there's also another place there that's like really good, like coffee tasting bar that's really good. But all of this is to say that if you're looking for a really cool Starbucks experience, my recommendation is to go to Chicago and go to the roastery in Chicago that's on Michigan Avenue, because that place is really cool. We went there a year and a half ago or something I don't know when that was. It was a while ago. Like right after it opened, we went just after sunrise because it's open. It's open 24 hours. It's open really, really long hours. And we went there just after sunrise. We had gone to a sunrise photography meetup in Hancock, and so we were really close by. We were like walking down the street.
The tower formerly known as the John Hancock Center.
Yeah, the tower formerly known as John Hancock Center in Chicago, up in the 360 Chicago area, which was really cool. But no, we were like walking by and there's no line, and I remember we looked at each other like, should we go in? So we went in. It was really cool. I highly recommend if you're in Chicago and want that experience. We did like the tasting. You know, like when you go to like a brewery and they give you like the tasting flight of beers, they had a similar thing. We can get like a flight of different coffees, and it was just a very pleasant time.
Back to Seattle real quick. I will say there's also, if you're into cocktails, there's a ton of cocktail bar options. Just even within hotel bars and stuff, I felt like they had a lot of great choices. So that's another option too if you're not as big of a coffee person. But maybe like a little cocktail in your life. We stayed most recently when we were in Seattle. We stayed at one of the Kimpton hotels there.
Actually, that was really cool.
And it was
Schwank.
decorated in this like the pillowcase, the throw pillows had like pictures sort of people that are from Seattle or like in movies that are set in Seattle. And so it was like different celebrity. It was just a interesting design.
No, it was a cool spot, and also the Walters are all very upset about Hancock.
About it not being called Hancock anymore? Or...
Mark says it's still the Hancock building, they just spell it differently. And Simply Jocelyn says, who renamed the Hancock? What the heck?
I know. It's
how dare they?
Pretty awful, in my opinion, especially
Sears Tower's
like,
Willis Tower. I mean, I don't even know.
Especially because Hancock is one of my family names.
not the Hancock, but a Hancock.
Not John himself, but there are several John Hancocks in my family.
Oh, here's something interesting. Thomas Reiser prefers Indianapolis over Chicago.
That is interesting. I can't agree with you there. I'm sorry. But you did just go to Indianapolis.
Because you're not from Indy, and I am, and I'm like...
You did just go to Indianapolis, I saw, and that's very cool.
No, Indy's cool, though. If you like sporting events, Indy is a sports
And thanks,
mecca.
Roxanne. Bye. Sorry if I missed you already.
Bye, Roxanne.
Thank you for the birthday wish.
But no, Indianapolis is really cool. Obviously, it's a great place for like sports and viewing sports. Indy 500 is a phenomenal event. It is just massive, and I highly recommend it if you have time. If you like racing, even if you don't, like the festivities leading up to the Indy 500, like with Carb Day and all of the different concerts and stuff. I remember seeing ZZ Top perform for the Indy 500, and I was like when they played like Sharp Dressed Man, I was just like, yeah. And it's just like I was so far away from the stage, and all you could see was like beards.
So one of my main issues with Indianapolis is that it's one of those cities that if you're walking around at like 8 p.m. on a Tuesday,
feels dead.
It feels completely
dangerous.
Dead. Yeah, like it feels like you're more likely to get mugged than to have fun. So
depends on the area. It really does. Like if you're in like Broad Ripple,
or if you're
not gonna be that way.
True, if you're in
But
Broad
if you're,
Ripple,
like,
it's fine. But like if
downtown,
you're like trying to walk along the canal, like game over. Don't do that at night. Yeah. Don't do that on a weekday night. Anyway.
But we also haven't done that in quite a while, so maybe it's changed. But yeah, no, it's great. There are people who do not like mangoes.
Okay,
yes.
Well, it's really like I want to like them. I genuinely feel like other people must taste something different than I do.
She just doesn't like it. Is it a texture thing?
To me, mangoes taste like rotten honey, which is funny because honey doesn't spoil.
No.
But like that's
famously doesn't spoil.
It famously doesn't spoil, but that is what it tastes like to me. I don't know.
Weird.
But I do I'll eat like mango sorbet if I have to because it's like sugary and stuff. But like if I just sit down and I'm only eating a mango, I'm like.
So Mark is asking us to tell him about grilling on the Barbie.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. So the Coleman 285 Road Tripper Blue Cobalt.
Link in my Instagram bio.
Not in my Instagram bio, but
I should
probably
probably
in one of hers.
follow up after this live stream post to my channel with like a
$249.95. Could be yours too. I have no idea what the price is, but it's something like that.
We're not selling. We're not trying to like.
It's great. I like it.
This grill, but it's amazing. Hawk it, but it is a good grill.
It's really cool. It's not too heavy. It's kind of heavy, but it's not too heavy.
It's on wheels.
It's on wheels. It's more like it's in one of those
What
like
was
size
grilling-
boxes.
What
that's
was
like
grilling steaks on it like? Let's
great.
answer the question.
It was phenomenal. So grilling was good on it. It's like 285 square inches of like space. So it has like two griddles on it that work very well.
May I interrupt real quick? You can buy an extension or like a additional attachment for it that gets rid of part of the grill part, and it turns it into like a burner.
Yeah.
So you could like boil a pot of pasta on it, and that's pretty much what sold me. I was like, okay, so I could literally create like shrimp here and pasta here and make shrimp pasta all in one thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that yeah, that's pretty cool. But it gives you a lot of like space. So we got this one because it was like a little bit bigger than. They also had a smaller version. We got the bigger one because from our perspective, we wanted something that down the line, if we ended up doing like tailgating at IU or something, we wanted something that we could actually like feed either a family or extended group of people off of. So it was good. Didn't smoke up too much. Puts out a lot of heat. So, I mean, it got up to, 400 plus degrees pretty quickly. I feel like, we'll have to come back on like how many uses, how many grills you can get out of these like 1 pound canisters, which I'll show you guys real quick.
In the meantime, I just want to say bye to Ermi if she's still on. Thank you so much for joining and asking great questions.
So you can do one of two things. You can either buy these like 1 pound canisters of propane gas to light it, and it still feels pretty full in terms of how much is still in here.
And you bought a 2-pack, right?
Yeah, it's
How much was the 2-pack?
$7, $8, so it's not too bad. And these aren't refillable, rechargeable. I need to figure out what to do with these in terms of like recycling or whatever, but still, it's really easy. I bought these at Walmart. They sell at Target, Lowe's, whatever. And it's still pretty full. What I will say is that, you can also buy an adapter so you can put like a big tank on it if you're actually going to like use it at home.
Yeah.
So if you're using it at home on your, back deck, balcony, whatever, you can get like the big old, I don't even know the name of the brands, but like the stuff you buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. So you don't have to like change this out as often. And it was good. I could see myself, cooking for up to 8 people maybe on it pretty easily. I think beyond that it'd be a little bit of a stretch, but 8 people, you probably, grill up burgers and stuff for it. It's easy. And what I really like about it actually, and I was just doing this today and Eliz was like, do you have to do that? Was like taking out the grates in the water dish, the water pan, and, getting that all like scrubbed out and everything so you're not just like leaving stuff on it to corrode.
Yeah,
Which
of course
comes
if you're
apart
camping,
really easily.
you probably can't do that as much.
But after your camping trip, you can do that and
Yeah.
stuff to like maintain your equipment. So I know that in like a prior iteration of their grill, like the water pan didn't come out, and people were kind of pissed off about that because maybe it would have degraded. I like it; it's good.
Yeah. Nick says he's not big on coconut, which is something he feels most people are. So he feels like a minority. So
My dad doesn't like coconut.
I like coconut shavings, like an acai bowl or something like that. Like I'll definitely have like coconut mixed in something, but yeah, I guess if I'm like eating straight up coconut.
I like pina coladas.
Yeah, you do.
My dad doesn't like the texture of coconut. He doesn't mind the flavor, but he does not want shavings.
So like he would drink coconut water sort of thing?
No.
No.
He'd have like pina coladas.
Pina coladas. That's a different texture.
I don't think he would have coconut water.
Okay.
Does it have booze in it? Yummy.
You could put some in there.
So, Mark Walters says they just got the Fairbanks guide this week. That's fun.
Ooh, I love it.
That's really fun.
Kim M says, come to Vancouver Island. Victoria is lovely. Very British.
Victoria is lovely, Kim.
Oh my gosh, could not
Love
agree
it.
more. We went to, oh my gosh, I always get these confused because we've been to Butchart Gardens and Bodnett Gardens. Which one is in?
One's in Wales.
One of them is in Wales and one of them is in Vancouver Island, and we always get it wrong. I
I'm
want
gonna
to
say
say
Boot Chart is in Vancouver.
Okay, we're gonna go with Boot Chart until Kim corrects us, one way or the other. So they're beautiful, beautiful. We absolutely loved just being in Victoria as well. It felt like we were in England in so many ways.
Yes, it's Boot Chart.
And we did not stay at the Empress Hotel, but
Ooh,
like
but it
if we
looks so
ever
pretty.
go back.
But that's the cool thing.
Going.
It's like, so in Canada, because it's one of the Commonwealth's, nations and all that stuff, they feel very, we talk about Quebec a lot. We talk about Quebec City
Quebec
that's
feels French.
Quebec feels very French. That's where we got engaged. Love it. It's like the most European feeling city in North America, I feel. But Vancouver Island and Victoria, if you go and you do the whole, like, they have like the telephone booths that look, the very Britishy looking. That's a good adjective, Britishy. Looking like telephone booths and everything like that. It's really cool, and you can get like high tea at the Empress Hotel, and it's a neat place.
Yeah. Go. Kim's so right.
All right,
Din
so
Tai Fung, Jocelyn ate 400 dumplings. Well, Mark and Jocelyn combined. Yo,
Mark-
we ate like 20.
and we're
and
like,
we
we're
were
done.
full.
It was so good though. I could have eaten more. I could have,
Yeah.
but at a certain point, you're like,
But we were okay. We were comfortable.
so good.
So you guys ate more than that. And we are glad you're alive.
Yeah, so Mark mentions that he really likes Pike Place Market.
Yeah, I do too. I like walking through it.
Yeah, it's a cute market.
It's
the fish
not.
stalls.
It's totally touristy, especially during
Oh
tourist
yeah,
season.
totally.
But you still have to go. Like
I like going there and
Go.
eating like the chowder. I got like chowder in a bowl, like a bread bowl. That was so good.
they have tons of stuff. They have like all these like local things, whether it's seafood or jam or cheese or
Yeah.
whatever. It's flowers. Beautiful.
Thomas
beautiful market.
mentions that he misses the half price discount on 360 Chicago. Yeah, 360
That's if you
Chicago
live
at
in
the
Chicago, right?
Yeah, they used to have a discount for locals, and I feel like they did away with that or severely limited that. Yeah, that was cool. I feel like they used to actually have like a thing where if you could prove that you live in Chicago, you could pay like a one-time fee, and then you got as many uses for the season as you wanted. So.
We're all agreeing it's still the Hancock and the Sears Tower. Great. End of
Nice.
story. If you call it the Willis Tower, everybody knows
disowning
you
you.
are a tourist. Okay. Yeah, I guess the Hancock building is now supposed to be called 875 North Michigan. Like
Which is horrible.
that.
It's the worst.
It is not going to be called that. Chicago residents can get half price discounts on the 360 Tower by showing their license. Yes, I think Derek and I have gotten that before. We've also kindly been invited to like sunrise photography stuff before for that, where we got in for free, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hate when they change the names of well-known landmarks. I could not agree more, and I feel like Chicago is like the worst right now at that. Like the two most iconic buildings,
Have been changed.
most
in the last,
iconic buildings have changed
10 to 15 years.
changed names. Pfft, garbage. Okay.
Wait, Queensboro Bridge changed to the Ed Koch Bridge. When did that happen? I feel
Is
like
it
it's
now
still
officially called the Queensboro Bridge? Because it used to be called the Ed Koch Bridge, as of like.
Yeah, but everybody called it the Queensboro Bridge.
Is it no longer called? Sorry, who said that?
Nick Barnett.
Well, Nick would know.
I mean, I knew it was the Ed Koch. I thought it was the
I
Ed
thought it
Koch
was
Queensboro
Queensboro.
Bridge.
Yeah. We used to live like.
So I only ever called it the Queensboro
we used
Bridge.
to live almost next to the Queensboro Bridge.
Yeah, I used to cross that like every night leaving
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And I would always say, take the Queensboro Bridge. Like, take the. I would
No
always
one
say,
would
take the
ever-
lower level.
If anybody ever said to me,
Upper
do you
or
take
lower.
the Ed Koch Bridge from from work to Long Island City.
I would have said,
like,
what is
I'd be
that?
like, who are you? Who do you think you are?
How dare you, sir?
Like, what kind of garbage guidebook are you reading?
Some people with the Triborough Bridge changing it to art. No, come on, it's the Triborough Bridge. Nope.
No.
I agree, Nick. I agree. Next thing you're going to tell me is that the Brooklyn Bridge is no longer the Brooklyn Bridge, and I would just die.
Jocelyn is a normal person, and mangoes taste like normal mangoes probably to her.
The mangoes taste like mangoes.
Yeah.
Mangoes are delicious.
I have resigned to the fact, like, I have concluded that mangoes taste differently to me.
I think we should be sponsored by mangoes. No, I'm kidding. Kim M says we should be sponsored by the grill.
Oh my god, yeah, if you guys know
yes.
anybody at Coleman, tell them to call us. We're ready.
I will wear an apron.
We're gonna
every
make a
single
video.
live stream. It'll say kiss the chef.
Or just finished grilling.
Just finished grilling. Grilling and chilling, you know.
Does Coleman do sponsorships?
Grill and chill instead of Netflix and chill. Grill and chill.
Speaking of sponsorships, I'm evaluating a product right now, so we'll see how that one goes. But it
hasn't come in the mail yet.
It's not as cool as the grill.
Excuse me, it's pretty cool.
It is, but not as cool as the grill.
So yeah, we'll be putting out a video or something on that at some point, I think. But yeah.
Hey, when you love a product, share it. Yep.
Yep. No, we totally agree, and we don't get a lot of like sponsorships yet. Maybe one day, but
we're gonna get.
We like sharing. We like sharing. Things that we enjoy.
Yeah, and things that have improved our travel experience. Yeah. And this grill, we feel like we outsmarted our Airbnb, even if we didn't.
Oh, yeah, the
because
money thing.
We spent $250 on a grill instead of $600 extra to be in a place that has a grill. And we get to keep the grill. Eliz, where's the wine? Mark, you missed the whole first part of this.
You missed the first part where we drank an entire case of Tannat. We did not drink any Tannat. There is no Tannat in Utah.
No, okay, so, all right. Let's summarize super fast for anybody who has recently joined. Utah.
Liquor, hard to get.
We created a list that we shared in the first hour or so of this live stream of...
I stabbed myself with a fork.
Yeah, that wasn't on the list. That was an anecdote. And we shared the takeaways and learnings that we've had from being in Utah now for a week. Several of those included alcohol and availability of alcohol.
But yeah,
moral of the story is anything under 4% alcohol by volume, you have to go to a state-run liquor store.
No, anything below you can get at a grocery store. Anything above, you need to go to a state-run liquor store. They call them the DABCs.
Correct.
These are they feel so dreary. They're like these little liquor stores that are super tight,
closed
like
on
small
Sundays.
confines.
So anyway,
and they have limited availability.
So we bought some wine. I drank some at the beginning of the chat. And then I opened some cider that we bought. And they sell cider by the can, not by the case, in these state-run liquor stores. So I am nursing it because it's really expensive.
It is. Well, this is actually it's one of the cheapest options.
This is one of the cheapest ones, and it was still like...
$2 something pop, I think.
I think it was like closer to $3. $3
closer to $3, yeah.
$3 a bottle.
Where did you leave off? So yeah, Mark is saying that downtown Indy is dead on a weeknight. Yes, it is. Yeah.
You should be, yeah. He said, "Where's the wine? Like a slower." Thomas likes a slower pace, so Indy works.
Okay, so Mark Walters says tailgate. I do not know much about that being in the Illini. Hey, Mark, I'll tell you what. If you do a tailgate though, at U of I will come. I'll party. Let's go.
Derek will bring the grill.
I will bring the grill. I've got a grill now that I can bring with canisters. It'll be great.
Derek has the grill. We just have to coordinate.
I'll wear my kinky boots, apron.
Tommy says charcoal is the only way to grill, though more mess to clean up, just saying.
Yeah, I don't know, Tommy.
It is a lot more mess to clean up.
It's a lot of mess.
But it gives a good, like, nice char.
There's like a whole, like, I don't know if anybody here watched King of the Hill.
I've watched a few episodes.
Phenomenal show. Really good. Really good stuff. But there's a really good one about, like, char grill versus propane, because Hank Hill, the main character, sells propane, clean burning propane. And there's a whole thing about, like, which one makes the better burger, and it's pretty funny.
So Nick Barnett's asked a question that Mark answered right before Nick said it, and that it is Derek likes getting caught in the rain.
What?
The pina colada comment.
Yes, I like getting caught in the rain, and other things. If you like
No matter your fuel source, gas, charcoal, or wood, each has its own unique flavor. Yes, Troy.
It's definitely true. Yeah.
Glad you reiterated what I was trying to say.
Mark, I just have to sing that song when someone says I like pina coladas. But they're so good. Pina coladas are pretty darn good.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
Kim's talking about it.
Mark agrees with us that Quebec is like the most European place in North America.
Yeah.
I mean, it is lovely. The day we got engaged. Aww. The day we got engaged.
I don't have. Yeah, my ring is not with us on this trip.
Yeah.
But yes.
So when we got engaged, we did the whole like horse-drawn carriage through the city.
Good night, Jocelyn. By the way.
We did a picnic in Plains of Abraham, which is like the big park. We did a airplane ride over the city to see the sights. Did a good job.
You did a great job. And the what is it called? Concierge at our hotel really helped you out.
The concierge was like a freaking angel. She was
her
amazing.
kids were part of it.
Her kids we did a bike ride through the city too. We did a bike ride. But the concierge's kids like dropped the bikes off to us. And I just remember Eliz being like, what the hell is happening? Like, why did like a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old just give us bikes? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's a cool time. I don't know.
Derek planned a great day. He nailed it.
But then it kept going, so then she was like, maybe I'm not getting proposed to.
Yeah, it's funny because there was like, he planned so many fun adventures all kind of back to back that I was like, all right, he hasn't proposed yet, so maybe this is just like...
Maybe he just like went really hardcore.
This is just what our day is. Because it was like, we did a carriage ride, then we did the bikes, and then like we did the airplane ride, and he didn't propose until after the airplane ride, which like, I am not complaining. This was the absolute best day of my life, hands down. Oh, and there was a picnic in there, like he said. But we got to the airplane ride, and I was like, all right, there's no ring happening here, so like, maybe this is just Derek like feeling. This is like the basil plant on steroids. He just felt like spending today. I don't know. And like the airplane lands after like we did this like romantic tour of Quebec City in the air, and like then he proposed. I was like, oh, thank God, this is. I'm not totally out to lunch on this one.
And then we did an 8-course tasting menu that night, and by that point we were just like so tired.
But that concierge earned her keep, no question. She helped you out.
By the fourth course, I was just like, can you bring me the coffee, please? Because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I was dying.
It was awesome.
No, and that concierge, thank you. That concierge, like, I tried to tip her, like, very well, and she, like, would not take my money. I was so confused. I was like, no, please take it. Like,
please.
We used your kids' bicycles. Like, come on. Like, you deserve this.
Yeah, we should send her, like, a Meansters sweatshirt.
A Wave t-shirt.
A Wave sweatshirt.
She's the original Wave. No, it was so good.
Those don't exist yet, by the way.
Wow, wait. Simply Jocelyn has a kid sleeping on the floor?
That melatonin really worked.
Wow.
But she did have to sign off, so. Really fun to have Jocelyn on.
Yeah, so good. Oh, yeah, don't forget Marshall Fields. Thanks, Thomas.
Marshall Fields! Frango
mints, yes. I was just thinking about those. Mark says, my smart type changed simply to Simon somehow.
Simon Jocelyn.
Interesting. Amen to that, Thomas, yeah. Nick Barnett, haha. Well, they haven't messed with that yet. I suppose they wouldn't want to piss people off that much by renaming the Brooklyn Bridge. No.
I could imagine that, like, somehow there'd be a veto to that.
Because then it's like, what about Dumbo?
Yeah. Man.
Dumbo's a great neighborhood, too. So.
Dumbo is an acronym, but it's the name of a neighborhood in Brooklyn. But it's an
Down
acronym.
under...
The Brooklyn Bridge. Wait.
No.
Down under...
It's the
Manhattan, Brooklyn overpass or something silly like that.
that.
Don't quote me on it. It's something like that, though.
I love that Thomas is saying he doesn't spend money at Macy's because of Marshall Fields. That's pretty good.
I always hated going to Macy's in New York because there would be like the first level you'd have to get through all the tourists, but then once, like, as a New York resident, there would be times where I felt like I had to shop at Macy's. It was just like the place I had to go to buy things that I needed. And so once you would get to like level 3 to 8, all the tourists really just go in and see level 1, maybe level 2, and like 3 and above, you can actually be like a normal New Yorker and go shopping.
Tommy, headline, couple arrested riding stolen bikes. Would have made national news. Yes. We did not steal bikes from kids. Kids they came up and they're like, here you go.
Here's your bike.
I'm like, you're from Christine, right? Like, Christine's kids? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Good night, Mark.
Good night,
Thanks
Mark.
for joining.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, very, very.
Darion did a great job, and the concierge did a great job. She's epic, and we would absolutely stay at that hotel again.
Oh yeah,
no question.
No, it was really cool. Because we didn't stay at the Chateau Frontenac, which is like the really big Quebec City hotel that's like super famous. It's kind of like the Empress Hotel in not Vancouver Island, but what's the city? Victoria. It's like it's like that in Victoria. But we stayed at a different place which had this concierge, and it was awesome, and would highly recommend it. I just can't think of the name of it. It was like the Old Town.
I don't remember.
But, yeah.
But Nick Barnett says that he's been to Roosevelt Field Mall, which we totally went to when we lived in New York City. We did like an outing to there. It had a lot of things. We took the train to Roosevelt Field Mall one day. Do you remember that?
To go to Blue Nile?
Yeah, that's right. That was when we were looking at engagement rings. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking up something that somebody had said.
Yeah, so Tommy's saying that the old wooden escalator in Macy's is mesmerizing. So there just shot a lot of video of it going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fun. That is fun.
You do, like, it looks like there's going to be something wrong with it if you get on it. Like, it just, because of the way that it works, it just is confusing. But all you have to do is get on it like a normal escalator and stand on it, and, like, it separates from itself. But maybe don't have, like, untied shoelaces when you're on it, but, like, it's pretty cool. It's an experience to ride it, for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I
think we've caught up, though.
We have caught up. Okay. Oh, that's what it was.
And we're almost, we're going on 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Whew, you guys are keeping us chatting. This is fun. But if you have any other questions, let us know. Otherwise, we might just wrap up kind of soon. But I'll reiterate kind of some of the announcements from the beginning of the chat. So next week and the week after, so the first 2 weeks of March, we're going to be doing our live streams at the same time, same channel, same place. So 8 p.m. Eastern time means to travel on YouTube. And so we'll announce what that topic at hand is in the coming week and everything like that. After that, we are hoping you guys are cool with this, but we just need a little bit of flexibility. Normally I announce a full month live stream schedule, but we just haven't figured out yet where we're going next after this.
I vote California.
Yeah, Derek really wants to go to California. Like,
I like California.
Derek
I have a lot
is
of friends there.
really gunning for California. So we'll see if that's where we go, but we just don't know yet. So we don't have an update for you guys yet about like our timing and our location and if we can do Thursdays. So likely that would be what we
What's up, the
continue
Wads?
to do.
Sorry, I just want to say hi.
Hi, Wad. The Wads, welcome. So likely that's what we're gonna do. We just don't know yet. So please bear with us, and
Yes.
we'll announce it in March once we know more about what the remainder of March is. So we'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks. No question about it.
However, in the next week or so, you should see a number of new vlogs coming out from the one, the only Music Travel. And, what?
Oh my gosh! Thanks for the super chat. We'll finish what we were just saying, but we gotta do the wave. Okay, ready?
You start.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank
Have you
you.
ever heard of Wander Local? And no, we have not.
Oh,
so
no.
shoot us a direct message too, if it's something that
Yeah.
we should be checking out.
I'd love to hear
all
what
of our
Wander Local is. It sounds
all of
really
our
cool.
social media is down here for anybody who wants to connect with us. We've listed it all. But no, we have not heard of that. Let us know what it's all about.
Yeah, we so for those who don't know, we have been traveling around the U.S. now for the last half month.
Yeah, we started
like
on February 6th, and we are continuing until TBD date.
Yeah, so we are continuing to travel. We have been through, we went from Cincinnati to Little Rock to Texas, now then down to Tucson, now we're up in Utah. We're probably going to continue around the U.S. for a little bit still, and before that we did spend 3 months in the U.K., and we've kind of been all over the world, so we love to travel, we love to share our experiences with you all, and we are continuing to put out new content as we go. We actually have a bunch of vlogs coming out on our road trip content over the next week, excuse me, and then we're also going to keep putting out UK content because we filmed a ton of content while we were in the UK traveling around, and want to continue to share that with you all as well.
Yeah. Hi, Purdue, by the way. Yes, we are live. Still. But yes, so as we were mentioning right before
Is
the super
this
chat.
thing live? That's funny.
I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry for it being so sparse with our video content in February, but I'm making up for it for you guys. I've been like hard at work, so you guys will be seeing some new content soon. But we'll check out Wander Local and the Wads. Thank you for subscribing to us right now, and we'll have to check out your channel as well. So thank you so much. Everybody's kind of wrapping up, it looks like. If you're interested in military attractions, let me know. There's a place in California that might interest us. Very cool.
Yeah, Troy, let us know.
I've driven past the base that's in between San Diego and LA.
Purdue, hi guys.
Hi. Yeah, so if there's something kind of in Southern California that you think we might want to check out, keep us posted, because no matter what, it's sounding like there might be at least some time in California in our near future. So as long as it's cool to go to that state and stuff, because I know there's been like certain restrictions that have recently been lifted, but we're on the pulse of that.
Yep. That said, we do actually have a lot to do tomorrow, so we might need to call it a night. But we really love hanging out with you guys. We really love spending time with you all.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always.
Yes.
You guys are rock stars, the bee's knees. We love you all. I just want to give some quick shout outs to all, there's Darion and Blaine, and Purdue just joined, by the way. Kim M, Troy, Tommy Dodson, Nick Barnett,
Darion,
Walters,
the
Thomas
Wads.
Reiser, Ronnie Dove, Nick Peterson, gosh, we had so many people. Lori Sims.
Simply Jocelyn.
Well, I said the Walters, and that's part of that crew. My parents.
Ruth Armstrong. Alan A.
Be sure to double mask. Yes. Well, I mean, we don't talk to people, but
We
like
don't
we
go
double
outside.
mask, like at
Well, we go outside. We don't go
at like stores and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, like Kim M, all you guys are awesome, and we really appreciate you all.
Yeah.
And spending your time with us, especially because we know that your time is precious. And
your Thursdays,
fun
you
to
might
hang
want to
out.
do something else on Thursday nights. So we are so thrilled that you guys choose to spend your time with us.
Yeah. Purdue says one of my
Watch us
dad's
drink our expensive alcohol.
Purdue says one of my dad's ships that was torpedoed and sunk on Memorial has a memorial in San Diego, the USS Wasp C7.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
That would be a really interesting thing to do, and I'm sure that's like Seaside's open air. We could probably make that happen.
Yeah, San Diego's beautiful. San Diego is really quite lovely. So that would definitely be on our list of places to go to.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us know that we should see if we can check that out. And Troy says Fort Irwin International Training Center. When you do go there, you'll swear that you're in Iraq. We've never been to Iraq, so I don't know if that's what we would think of firsthand. But maybe. I mean, we've seen photos and images and video and stuff.
There's a place in Arizona called Baghdad.
They're
Is
what?
Is that in Arizona?
Is that a...
City.
We passed something along the way
Passed the
called
sign that said
Baghdad,
Baghdad.
but I mean we drove 2,600 miles, so it's a little bit of a blur. I don't know.
By the end, we're just like. I wanna sleep.
Anyway, you guys are the absolute best.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the great questions this week and for staying with us as we talked about Utah. Sounds like some of you guys might be interested. Always feel free to ask questions on these. These are great Q&A opportunities to pick our brains.
My guess is that
and for us to learn from you.
by next week we will have a little bit more of a firm grasp on where we're going. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that. Fingers crossed. My guess is California, and we'll see.
All right. Hope you guys all have a great weekend. Happy March. See you next Thursday. Thank you for the birthday wishes, by the way. Really meant a lot.
We're gonna eat a lot of sushi.
I can't wait. Sushi's my favorite. And the cupcakes. Okay.
All right.
Good night.
Cheers. Bye.